You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the death of a child at an unlicensed daycare and the daycare owner's experience. We're going to hear more about it coming up in a few.
Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have the updates on the shooting that happened behind Meg's Middle Magnet School.
Waking up this morning with a couple drizzly spots out there and even some fog on a few of our cameras. One more round of showers and thunderstorms I'm tracking coming up in your forecast.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Justin McFarland here on this Monday, February the 12th. We're going to begin this morning with breaking news as detectives have arrested a second suspect in connection with a shooting at the Meg's Middle School. This is happening in Nashville. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live to tell us more about exactly who police have put behind bars.
Good morning, Justin. Well, police have arrested 17-year-old Ashton Brown for allegedly shooting and killing two teens in this parking lot behind Meg's Middle Magnet School last week. Police arrested Brown last night at his place. They believe he is the second shooter responsible for the crime. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested the teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. Police say they are investigating if drugs were a motive in this crime. Coming up, I'll tell you what happened the night of the shooting. Reporting live in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, let's get right to Greg Bobus. He's got a look at the forecast. We saw Karen out there with the umbrella, Greg.
Oh, yes, and there's not a lot being shown on radar, but do not let that deceive you because I saw it driving in. Karen has the umbrella right now. We have areas of mist, even a little light drizzle at times, and we have some fog out there. So not the world's most unsettled start to a day, but definitely going to be a little on the kind of gloomy, dreary side here for the next couple of hours. Severe weather not likely later today, but a few scattered showers and thunderstorms cannot be ruled out as we go into late morning and afternoon especially. Now, a few of these could have a little bit of wind and hail, but we really are not focused on a big severe weather threat potential. It's just going to be pretty rainy today. And then we bring in cold air. Snowflakes are definitely possible heading into tonight, and it'll come down at a decent clip here. Heavy snow at times. Now, when I say heavy, I mean big, fluffy snowflakes. I don't mean heavy snowfall in terms of accumulation. Likely nothing, if very little at best, sticks anywhere across Middle Tennessee or Southern Kentucky. Just more so one of those things that if you're up, say around 9, 10 o'clock tonight, you might get to see a little bit of snow. But this is the only day. We go back to the 50s and 60s once again, starting tomorrow into Wednesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at what we're dealing with here at I-65. Okay, so this is going to be 65, excuse me, everyone, 65 on the south side of town. Very close to 840 down in Williamson County. That is where we are dealing with a big slowdown here because of a crash that is right at the 840 intersection. Traffic is slow in both directions. You can see now the traffic is at an all stop here on 65 in both directions here. So we're going to get a map up for you and tell you the best ways to steer clear. I can tell you now, you want to use Highway 431 as the best bet to get around this for right now if you're traveling in and around the south side of town. This is going to go anywhere between, say, Lewisburg, Pike, in and around Paydensville Road, 840 on the south side near 65. All of that is clogged up as a result of this crash. We'll try to get an update on exactly how bad the injuries are, but whatever it has clogged up the interstate in a big way and will be with us here for a little bit. It's already been with us for about 30 minutes now, so we'll continue to watch it there on the south side. Other than that, we're good to go with steer clear traffic. We'll keep you updated live and local through 9. The celebration is on this morning in Kansas City as the Kansas City Chiefs are now back-to-back Super Bowl champions. They took home the win last night over the San Francisco 49ers in overtime, only the second overtime in the history of the Super Bowl. Final score, 25-22. You're going to see the game winner right here. Patrick Mahomes finds McCole Hartman right there in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Mahomes named the Super Bowl MVP. He had 399 yards passing.
Unfortunately, we have had several different deaths throughout the years with children who are in unregulated care.
A 6-month-old baby has died at an unlicensed daycare facility in South Nashville. Now, medical examiners are still trying to determine exactly what caused that baby to die. Fox 17 News spoke with a woman who was watching that child. That woman is not a licensed daycare provider. Yet and still, she was responsible for a 6-month-old girl that she put down for a nap in a baby chair on Thursday afternoon. However, that infant would not wake up. She tried to revive the child, but that baby's mother did arrive a few moments later and called 911. Police say there were no signs of trauma, but an autopsy will be conducted. Using an unlicensed daycare is one more sign of the difficulty of finding affordable child care in Tennessee.
Parents and providers both are at the end of their economic rope.
The woman did charge $25 a day per child, according to police. So we want to hear from you about this. Do you think finding safe and affordable daycare in Middle Tennessee is a problem? Look at this. 87% of you say yes, it is. That's with around 291 people voting right now. If you want to chime in on this for yourself, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen, or of course you can go visit our X page. You can find us over at Fox Nashville. But one woman has died after being hit and killed by a car. We're going to tell you why. Police are searching for the driver and the passenger.
Gary Sutton wants me to speak publicly about it.
Hear from 3 key witnesses. Learn about the disgraced medical examiner and inaccurate or edited testimony. Monday at 9.
4:09 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police are searching for a driver they say hit and killed a woman in Nashville early Saturday morning. Happened at the Neely's Meadows Apartments in Madison. Now, police say Caroline Connor was arguing with a man and a woman inside of a car. They say that the car drove to the back of the apartments, then sped back towards Connor, hitting her. Police are looking for a white Mercury Sable with damage to the hood area of the car. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. Well, we do have continuing coverage as the funeral of an officer killed in the line of duty has now been scheduled. The Blount County Sheriff's Department says that Greg McGowan, their deputy, will be laid to rest on Wednesday. This is the man accused of meanwhile, the man accused of shooting Officer or Deputy McCowan in this case and injuring another deputy is still on the run. Now, a makeshift memorial stands right in front of the Blount County Sheriff's Office, and the community is honoring Deputy McCowan. Police say that the 42-year-old refused to cooperate after getting pulled over during a traffic stop on Thursday night. At one point, deputies used a taser on him. They say that is when the suspect in this case fired at officers. A $100,000 reward is being offered to bring this man to justice. If you have seen him, you are asked to contact the TBI 1-800-TBI-FIND. Construction continues in the heart of the Nashville Yards development that is in downtown Nashville. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey there on the scene. Kevin, I know he can hear me. He's out there. This development will eventually host a music venue. That music venue is out there and it's going to be called The Pinnacle. It will seat 4,500 people. That is in addition to a whole lot of mixed-use space with over 2,000 residential condos that are going to be out there as well. The Nashville Yards was a $1 billion project when it was first rolled out a few years ago. It's supposed to have a movie theater and a bowling alley before it's all said and done, right there where the old Lifeway building used to be in the heart of downtown Nashville.
4:11 our time. Taking a look right now, some fog and some mist out there, but most of our rain going to hold off until mid-morning and then take us into the afternoon. The bigger the bar, the better the chance for rain. This is the time period that we have to watch out for, though, because 10 o'clock on, temperatures begin to drop and we could see a transition from rain to snow. If we cool down quickly enough, it's possible to see flakes flying. Now, they'll put down quite a bit when it comes down to how much liquid we have to actually turn into snow. Problem is the ground and the air temperatures are still going to be hovering a little bit above freezing. So what sticks, likely not much of anything, and what does will melt pretty quickly going into the overnight. So a few slick spots, maybe a light coating in an area or two, but then that's it for the entire week. We'll dry out. Taking a look at today, 8 a.m. takes us into 9 and then 10 o'clock. Rain starting from south to north and overspreading throughout the afternoon. We'll take a look at any potential for stronger storms coming up in the next check of your Code Red forecast in about 5 minutes.
Still clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a quick look here at I-65. This is down around 840. As you can see, traffic in that area is at a standstill. This is after a crash down around I-840 there on 65. We've been dealing with this crash for the last 45 minutes or so. You want to take Highway 431. It's the best way to steer clear. It's a mess back behind this crash. We will continue to follow things, let you know when it completely clears up. Well, coming up, Israel says its troops rescued 2 hostages from Hamas. The death toll in this operation and more when we come back. Plus a shooting at a mega church in Houston.
That inspired other people to want to tell their authentic stories. This February, celebrate Black History Month.
Tell the world that you're invincible.
.15 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. That's a live look there across downtown Nashville. It's somewhere over there. The fog and cloud cover is really doing a job out there this morning. So heads up as you get out and about. Some slight rain out there around the area. So we're going to give you the very latest on that as we continue on with Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus coming up in the next few minutes. Israel says it is Israeli forces have rescued 2 hostages from Hamas earlier today from a heavily guarded apartment in the southern part of Gaza on the Strip. Now, according to officials there, this is to assist the rescue forces. Heavy airstrikes pounded the area near the apartment in Rafah, a city on the edge of the Gaza Strip. Palestinian health officials say that the operation killed at least 67 Palestinians, including women and children. We are now learning more about a shooting inside of a megachurch in Houston, led by the famed pastor Joel Osteen. Now, police say that a woman in a trench coat, armed with a long rifle, walked into Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church on Sunday afternoon. The woman had a child with her and began shooting. 2 off-duty officers returned fire and killed that woman. A 5-year-old child was wounded and is in critical condition. A 57-year-old man was also shot and is undergoing treatment. Pastor Osteen said the shooting happened while there had been a break between services. He said the attack could have been far worse if it had not been or if it had occurred during the morning services. Police are still investigating the shooting and trying to determine a motive for this particular attack. We do have an update for you this morning, as today is the last day to apply for federal assistance after the December the 9th tornado outbreak in Middle Tennessee. If you have damages or losses from these storms, you may be eligible for help from FEMA. Financial assistance for temporary lodging, as well as basic home repairs and personal property loss and other disaster-related expenses is available, which you have to apply by the end of today. To find out more, you need to go to disasterassistance.gov. Let's get to Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast here. And Greg, we've already seen those raindrops out there hitting our windshield as we got to work here this morning. And I imagine some folks who get out and about later today will need to do the same.
That'll be the case for many of us. Can't even show it on radar because it's so light. It's that little mist, and then there's some fog that the radar isn't even picking it up. So just because we're not seeing it visually on the radar does not mean you won't be visually seeing it on your windshield this morning. Keep that in mind. That combined with the fog could slow you down just a touch. Let's go to Future Track. Immediately start getting into the rest of this morning, and when some more recognizable rainfall, meaning trackable rainfall, begins to move in. Later this morning, here's 8 a.m., here's 9 o'clock. You can see the reds and oranges here. Some decent downpours cannot be ruled out. Some heavy rain at times will track through with a few of these bands and even a couple of rumbles of thunder this afternoon. Here's 11 a.m. into the afternoon are possible. The best chance for any wind or small size hail could be associated with a few storms in our southeasternmost counties, but most of us here run-of-the-mill showers and regular run-of-the-mill thunderstorms as well. We're not so concerned about a severe weather potential today. Taking a look, Future Track taking us to 7. Look what color pops up. Blue. We have the chance for some snow on the backside of this. Cold air moves in very quickly going into tonight. Ground temperatures and air temperatures both going to be above freezing, but the air way up in the atmosphere cold enough to give us the possibility of some snow coming down. But with the surface level temperatures being a little bit on the warmer side, don't expect much to stick. We'll be at 61 degrees early afternoon.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to the south of town. This is going to be I-65 right at I-840. As you make that drive in from the Williamson County area, you can see for yourself the traffic is at a standstill down here. That is because of an earlier accident around 3:30 in the morning. You can see traffic is stuck there going southbound. The southbound lanes are closed, so this is as you leave Franklin going south towards Murray County. That is where the slowdown is really going to be. You want to use Lewisburg Pike, that's Highway 431, as the best way to steer clear. This is the biggest and only problem that we've got going on right now. We'll try to get more details as the morning goes on. Well, President Joe Biden is now coming to the defense of Nikki Haley and her husband. This is after the GOP rival in this case, former President Donald Trump, questioned the military veteran's whereabouts. This is because he's deployed. Fox News' Madeline Rivera has the details.
Nikki Haley is denouncing former President Trump's comments, saying it's, quote, part of a pattern of chaos.
It's a pattern of irresponsibility. It's a pattern of just saying things that are not helpful in strengthening America. And this is a chance America's going to get to decide.
This is in response to a dig the former president made at Haley Saturday. Trump at a rally was talking about a meeting he had with Haley in Mar-a-Lago. Then he brought up Haley's husband.
She comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
Michael Haley serves in the South Carolina Army National Guard. He began a year-long deployment to Africa in June. President Biden coming to Haley's defense on X, saying the answer is that Major Haley is abroad serving his country right now. We know he thinks our troops are, quote, suckers, but this guy wouldn't know service to his country if it slapped him in the face, referring to Trump there. This comes with less than 2 weeks to go before the South Carolina GOP presidential primary. Trump is looking to knock Haley out of the race and clinch the nomination. Haley, though, is unmoved, saying her team has put everything they've got into her home state and is sticking around until at least Super Tuesday. Haley is fundraising off Trump's statements about her husband, saying anyone who mocks a veteran isn't worthy of the presidency. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Well, coming up, one 49ers player made Super Bowl history, and he played his high school ball right here in the mid-stage. We're going to watch his shining moments in the big game. Plus,
for the first time, I finally feel like I'm exactly where I should be, where I want to be.
4:24 is the time. One local star got his moment on football's biggest stage last night. We're talking about the former Blackman High School star and former Tennessee Volunteer Jawan Jennings, the wide receiver for the 49ers. He had not just one, but two game-changing plays. Now, during the first half of the game, you can see it right here. The 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy, threw a backwards pass to Jennings, and then Jennings threw the ball back across the field to Christian McCaffrey, who did the rest. Raced to the end zone for the touchdown, giving the 49ers a 10-0 lead over the Chiefs. Then in the second half, Jennings did his other job. That's scoring a touchdown as a receiver. Caught the pass over the middle and forced his way into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. He becomes the second player in Super Bowl history with a TD pass as well as a TD catch in the same game. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles was the other one to do it. Unfortunately, was not enough for the 49ers. He came up short in overtime. Nashville Predators back on the ice Saturday night following a very long All-Star break. The club does have some making up to do if they want a chance at the postseason, and they did not waste any time as they took the ice on Saturday night. The Preds hosting the Arizona Coyotes, and the team, this is a team they've already lost twice to this season, but the Preds got into the action pretty fast. Preds led briefly in the second period, 2-1. The Coyotes worked their way up to a 4-2 lead, but Nashville still turned it around, scoring a couple of goals there in the third to tie it at 4. And then in overtime, defenseman Ryan McDonough got his very first overtime goal right there, and that is the ball game, or hockey game in this case. There's no ball involved. Preds do get the win 5-4 over the Coyotes. Tomorrow night, they'll be up in New Jersey to take on those Devils. 7 p.m. is the puck drop time.
Here we are, 4:26. Let's start getting you out the door on a Monday morning to some fog and some mist. Keep that in mind. As always, make sure you always have multiple ways to get alerts to your phone or just to yourself in general. Maybe you don't use your phone all that often, but you want something that's a little bit louder at night. Weather radios are also great. And just stay aware of weather in general. I don't just mean day of looking outside your window and going, oh, it's raining. Know what's coming your way well before it gets in your direction, and then that way you can make a plan just in case you need to go that direction. I'm not worried about severe weather today or anything widespread in that term, but we do have the chance for some thunderstorms. Taking a look, you can also connect anywhere on social media. Twitter will be a place we'll be updating you throughout the day once the rain really does pick up. Right now, it is just some fog and some mist in some areas. And that other way you can get alerts to your phone by getting the Fox 17 Code Red weather app that will only go off for severe weather in your county, but you can also track along on the radar.
Stay clear traffic out there for you this morning. It's a mess south of town, I-65 and I-840. You can see there for yourself. The traffic down there is not pretty right now. They've got a full stop of traffic in both directions after a crash about an hour ago here on the south side of town. Let's show it to you here on your maps. 51 minutes in from Spring Hill to downtown right now. You want to try to take Highway 31 or Highway 431. Both of them will help you get past that tie-up until things have cleared up. Well, coming up, 2 Cub Scouts are being praised for their quick thinking that has helped save the life of a loved one.
Letters in the country.
Guys been doing any kissing?
Are looking for love on Farmer Wants a Wife.
Let's go!
Thursday, a game day celebration proves the biggest rivalries.
You told me that I am fake.
True. He barely looks at me.
Are off the field.
She hit below the belt.
Girls are starting to get a little jealous.
Thursday at 8 on Fox 17.
Battling drunk driving.
He split our car in half.
Ongoing issue.
About 30% of fatalities are because of alcohol-related crashes.
Spotlight on America investigates new tech to prevent drunk driving.
Monday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Rain that could last a good chunk of the day. I'm tracking in your forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us down to I-65 near 840. A big mess down there because of a crash that happened about an hour ago. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear in Williamson County. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 here on this Monday morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to begin with some breaking news from over the weekend as Metro Police say that one teenager has now been arrested in connection with the shooting of 2 teens. This all happened at a middle school parking lot. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is live to tell us exactly where all of this happened and what police are investigating.
Good morning, Justin. Well, as a recap, police say behind Miggs Metal Magnet School, the suspects shot and killed those 2 teens right here in this parking lot. They say one of the teens was killed on instant here and the other was taken to the hospital and later died. Police are now charging 17-year-old Ashton Brown with double homicide for allegedly shooting and killing the 2 teens. Police arrested Brown last night at his place. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested a teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. Bill's family has a GoFundMe page to help cover his funeral and other expenses. We are working on talking to the victims' families. In the meantime, police are investigating if drugs could have been a motive in this shooting. Reporting live in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. You can get more big stories just like this delivered right to your inbox every morning by signing up for our daily newsletter on our homepage of fox17.com. Happening today, the trial does begin for one of the suspects charged in the killing of 2 men outside of the Cobra Bar in East Nashville back in 2018. Police have charged Demontre Logden, as well as another man in charge of, or another man in the killing of Jamie San Antonio rather, and Bartley Teal outside of the East Nashville bar. We're told that the victims were celebrating Teal's birthday. Now, one of the other suspects was found guilty last June and was sentenced to life without parole. The third suspect faces lesser charges related to the double murder in this case. Fox 17 News will be in the courtroom, give you the very latest as more details become available. Let's get to Greg. He's got the very latest on your forecast. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Yeah, waking up here with a little bit of action on the radar, a little pickup as we get into the late morning and afternoon hours. Even a few thunderstorms cannot be ruled out this time around, so some heavy rainfall mixed with that. All clear, though, for Code Red. I'm not seeing any big indications of severe weather threats here for you today. I am seeing indications of some snow. Well, after sunset, not a lot that's going to stick, but if you're up late enough, and I'm not even talking 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm talking 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, you might catch a few flakes flying. So here's the big setup today and tonight. Rain first. Temperatures right now are in the 40s and 50s. We'll be up to 60 degrees by lunchtime, and then temperatures plummet after dinner. Some storms, low severe weather risk, mainly in our southeastern counties, getting right toward the Alabama state line. Nashville on north, nothing to worry about there. A few flurries, though, are possible tonight. Let's track it for you here at the beginning, at least of what's coming in. We'll get you through the daytime, then we'll talk snow in about 5 minutes. Taking a look, this is 8 a.m., 9 o'clock. Rain starts south, moves to the north, and then continues to track through. Yellow, moderate rainfall, oranges and reds, a little on the heavier side. This is where a couple of those claps of thunder could creep in after 11, 12 o'clock. And then everything gets a little more hit and miss, but the heavy pockets will still be out there. Remember how I mentioned along the Alabama state line? That's the area we have to watch out for any wind or small size hail later on this afternoon toward the evening. Stick with me. In 5 minutes, we're going to find out when the blue appears on future track.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a quick look here at I-65 at I-840. This is on the south side of town near Williamson County. As you can take a look and see for yourself, crews are getting by out there after a crash down there in the Williamson County area. As you can see, that crash near 840 really clogging things up. Let me show it to you on our maps here. No, it's not going to be that many. 29 minutes from Springfield to downtown. Excuse me, that time is incorrect. It's going to be more than that. However, it is going to be a slow go here as they continue to work that crash down there at 65 at 840. That does have things clogged up there as you make your way south. Best way to steer clear right now is going to be using Highway 31 or 431 as your best bet to steer clear. In your community this morning, 2 young heroes from the Clarksville Cub Scouts troops are now getting top honors. We're talking about Christopher and William Schroeder. They were awarded the Medal of Merit for their courage and quick thinking in saving their grandfather's life. The boy's grandfather went into cardiac arrest. The boys did not hesitate to perform CPR, saving their grandfather's life using techniques they learned as scouts. Now, William was also selected as the Middle Tennessee Council Cub Scout of the Year. Congratulations to both of those very young men. Well, coming up, the United States Secretary of Defense is now back in the hospital after being criticized for how he handled his health during his last health scare. And as Valentine's Day rolls around, we've got word .39 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. That's a live look at not downtown Nashville, not at all. That is downtown Kansas City, Missouri. That is the home of the now back-to-back world champion Kansas City Chiefs. You can see they've got it right there on the buildings there. Chiefs win. Chiefs win. Yeah, baby. Congratulations to the Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom. Know they're thrilled up there as they have taken home a win after a huge overtime victory over the 49ers. We'll have much more on the game coming up here a little bit later. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is now back in the hospital. He is in the critical care unit. A Pentagon spokesperson says that Austin was taken to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center yesterday afternoon for symptoms suggesting a bladder issue. Now, the spokesperson says the secretary will be retaining the functions and duties of his office during his hospitalization. Back in December, Secretary Austin underwent surgery for prostate cancer. He was later treated for an infection related to the procedure. The defense secretary came under criticism for not informing the White House about his health status. Well, Valentine's Day is just a few days away, and while there are many who are looking for someone online to cuddle with, there are some red flags out there to be looking for when looking for these kind of things online. Experts say there are some key approaches out there while these scammers are looking for their next target, and that can include gaining the victim's trust to ask for money or having you send them compromising photos. So ask for visual evidence that the person that you are talking to make sure that you have some video calls perhaps before meeting them. Also ask questions about the person and do name searches on search engines to make sure the person you're talking to is actually, well, a real person. Let's talk to Greg right now. He's a real person. I've met him several times.
We've crossed paths once or twice, yeah. Taking a look here, 441. This is the afternoon where we left off on Future Track about 5 minutes ago. 2 p.m., isolated showers and even a couple rumbles of some thunder with some embedded thunderstorms, and that will linger with us here for a good portion of the afternoon. I mentioned the possibility of some snow. This time around, it's actually a pretty good bet. We do see some flakes flying. Now, we're going to be way too warm all day, and our ground temperatures are well above the freezing point here. So I don't see anything sticking to our paved surfaces, and whatever does melts off pretty quickly. But here's the timeline: 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Knocking on the doorstep here, blue on the radar. So we are going to see some snow that comes down to the big puffy snowflakes too, not the little light wispy ones. This is going to be that really big and good packing snow if it were to have had the potential to stick. By the time we're done with the nighttime hours though, we're done with rain for the rest of this week, and we're done with any wintry weather as well. We'll settle into a dry period, and we'll look ahead to Valentine's Day. I've actually upped the temperatures a little bit since we last talked on Friday morning. And we're cooking up a couple of things here this morning for you already in steer clear traffic. Justin, what you seeing?
Clear traffic out there for you this morning. It's going to be I-65 and I-840 as you make that drive out and about there in the South Nashville area, really Williamson County. This is where the crash is here at 65 and 840. As you make that drive in, we do have a crash that's holding things up there on the south side of town, Williamson County, right there at the line. The best way to steer clear of this mess is going to be using Highway 431 and Highway 31 as you make that drive into town. Right now it's a 54-minute drive. Real slowdowns on 65 in both directions. My advice, don't get on, at least not right now. Well, coming up, Beyonce has announced some brand new music during the Super Bowl, and it's inspired by country music. We're going to tell you what you need to know about these new songs. And look at this. Adoptable puppies took the field.
Substantial evidence, inaccurate or edited testimony. Learn how this all affected Sutton's case.
So the two people who were murdered were on the witness list?
Yes.
Monday at 9.
4:45 is the time. The Super Bowl brought us some star-studded crowd and some nail-biting moments here. But above all else, it also brought us new music from Beyonce. Okay, so the artist announced her latest project on social media and a website. This is all teasing some of her brand new songs in her Super Bowl Verizon ad yesterday. The new country-themed era referred to Act 2, and it follows her 2022 Renaissance album. The celebrity Beyonce dropped two songs titled Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. This is all she made these drops on all streaming platforms. Act 2 will be released coming up on March 29th. We'll see how that goes. In health news, Williamson Health is now offering heart screenings for a discount for the American Heart Month. This is in February. They are looking for a coronary calcium score screening, and they say it's a very simple, non-invasive scan that can detect the risk of heart disease before signs or symptoms appear. Now, it's available for anyone ages 40 to 75 years old at the Williamson Health Center for $50 during this special screening event. Now, you do need to make an appointment for this heart scan. You can do so by calling the number right there on your screen by February the 29th. The screenings will be available at the Williamson Health Imaging Center that is next to the Williamson Medical Center down there in Franklin. Looking ahead to tonight, Fox 17 News at 9, and a 32-year-old case is now getting some new attention after investigators believe they may have gotten some things wrong. We're talking about Gary Sutton, who is now on death row, waiting for his execution. Now, 3 new witnesses and a disgraced medical examiner are casting doubt on his guilt.
Gary deserves his life back. He's probably going to be mad that it took me 30 years to do it.
Our continuing coverage on new evidence that supporters say deserves another look. That's coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. In your community, yesterday was the Puppy Bowl. It was the Puppy Bowl here in Music City, and the tail-wagging good time was always included with a very high turnout. Now, Nashville Zoo was the one hosting the matchup. It was a paw-assisted kickoff, and the Team Clawed and Team Paws faced off on the field. None of these puppies knew the rules, but they're all very, very cute. Look at that. Maybe that one is trying to tackle. Look at that. We just don't know. They're having a great time, though, and a great time had by all. We all know this is all about the puppies and the puppies being adopted on the team, as the Nashville Humane Association has more furry friends of all types that are up for adoption, whether they can play football or not. #1 dog lover here on Fox 17 News is Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast. I'm sure he enjoyed some of that video there, watching the dogs play football. Does your dog play football?
Absolutely not.
No, not a big, okay.
There was that one puppy who looked like almost like he was a line barker.
Line barker.
There you go. There's the one we get for today. And they're not all golden, but that one.
Sir. Bravo.
Taking a look here at the forecast out the door this morning. Here is what is brand new after the weekend, going our way into the rest of today. We have a few areas of some fog, mist, and even a couple light sprinkles that have been popping up, and then they've been kind of dying down on us here. The main bulk of the rain going to get here middle morning into the afternoon. Showers and even a few weak thunderstorms. This is the last rainy day of the week. We're going to turn off the rainmaker tomorrow through Friday, get back to some sunshine, and still keep temperatures fairly mild in the 50s, and if not right near the 60-degree mark a couple of days. But here is, a look at one of our sky cameras. You're supposed to be able to see downtown, but that's just not happening right now. So visibility going to be reduced when you're getting out the door this morning and this afternoon. Lunchtime forecast, temperatures cooperate in the 50s, but there will be showers and thunderstorms that are going to be on the radar for us, and that's going to be the big story as we get into our 5 o'clock half hours, giving you a look at future tracks so you know what is making its way here and when. That's the thing. When can you find a dry hour or two? 61 will be your high temperature later today, 54 tomorrow, and then we're back to right near 60 to round out the rest of the week.
Circular traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to the south side of town. This is going to be I-65 right here at 840 as you make that drive into town. As you make your way in, things are at a standstill on I-65 going southbound as you try to make that drive towards Spring Hill this morning. A big slow go because of this crash that's been down there since around 3:30 this morning. Let's show it to you here on the maps. 54 minutes in from Spring Hill right now. A big part of that is a slowdown in and around 840. You want to take Highway 431 or Highway 31 as your best bet to steer clear. We'll let you know when it completely clears up. President Biden calls on companies to stop a type of reduced volume sales practice. One of the biggest snacks eating this is happening around one of the biggest snacks eating days of the year. Now, President Joe Biden says it's time for snack companies to stop shrinkflation. This term refers to companies offering less of their products but keeping the price the exact same during the inflationary times. Now, the president's message came on Super Bowl Sunday, a major snack feasting day. A report by the Pennsylvania Democratic Senator Bob Casey says that many items have decreased in size or volume over the last 4 years, where prices have gone up by more than 20%. Coming up, a scientific oddity at an aquarium as a stingray is pregnant without ever meeting another male stingray. I'm going to tell you how this surprising situation may have happened. And there is a new place to rock the vote.
Fox 17 News Code Red weather alerts.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
.455 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. That's a live look there on Lower Broadway. Things are moving along just fine. Some light rain in the area. Greg Bobus has the very latest look at your forecast as we get you out the door. Plenty to talk about here on your Monday morning. Caretakers at an aquarium in North Carolina are beyond baffled this morning. This is after a stingray in their lab gets mysteriously pregnant. Okay? So let's break this down a little bit. Researchers say that the stingray, named Charlotte, is experiencing some pregnancy. And that's odd because the Aquarium and Outreach Center doesn't have any male stingrays. Now, at first, the team thought that maybe, just maybe, she had cancer. After running some tests, they found out that it wasn't cancer at all. They found out she was pregnant. Analysts say there might have been a couple of different ways this has happened to Charlotte. One is a very rare process in which the eggs develop on their own and create a clone of the mother. The second was mingling with one of the young sharks that stayed in the tank just last July. All right now, Charlotte. So maybe that's the answer to this mystery. There's other explanations, I'm sure, that can be found in books somewhere where there's mysterious visitors and all kinds of things, you know. There's stories, you know, involving, you know, all kinds of things. You know, yeah, they're books. They're books.
They're taking a look here. Your weekend outlook. We'll give you the sneak peek ahead to it right now. Saturday, going to have a chance for some showers that'll be out there. Timing is way too soon to know yet, but just note that Saturday is the day of the two where rain can't be ruled out. Cooler temperatures, 47 will be the high temperature on Saturday, 51 on Sunday. Now, the rest of this week after today looks really good, but Sunday is the better day of both of those days. Just know that you're going to wake up to temperatures that will be in the 20s on Sunday morning. I'm talking rain and storms later today. I have a new look at Future Track with some possible snow tonight. We'll go from 61 degrees early afternoon to flakes flying before midnight. So there's a lot coming your way as we go into the 5 o'clock half hour in a few minutes.
Circular traffic out there for you. Let's take a quick look here at I-65 at the I-840 junction on the south side of town in Williamson County. As you can see, traffic is not moving. It hasn't moved in about an hour and a half down there. It's been at a standstill because of a crash down there in that area. We do have a crew on the way to the scene to see exactly what is going on down there. But the traffic has been extremely slow since this crash happened down there. If this is going to affect your drive as you try to make your way from Nashville down towards Spring Hill, my advice, try to take Highway 431 or Highway 31. Either one of them will help you steer clear of that particular crash down there on the south side. This year's 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have officially been announced. Now, on the list for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now, this includes Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Cher, as well as Lenny Kravitz. They're all on this list. Sinead O'Connor, they are also on the list as well, just to name a few of the icons. This is their first time being nominated. Ozzy Osbourne is also on the list as a solo artist. He's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, along with his band, Black Sabbath. More than 1,000 artists, historian, and music industry professionals will vote on the nominees. Fans can also vote online or in person at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there in Cleveland, Ohio. As the official vote will be tallied, the class of 2024 will be announced, by the way, at the end of April. We'll see. A popular drug for men may also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. A study in the journal Neurology looked at the medical records for nearly 270,000 men. They found those taking Viagra were 18% less likely to develop Alzheimer's. Now, the research did not uncover possible reasons behind this and recommended additional research using both men and women. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, affecting more than 6 million people in the United States age 65 or older. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have an update on the McMinnville magnet school shooting.
And on Fox 17 News this morning, the death of a child at an unlicensed daycare and the daycare's owner's experience.
Waking up to some fog and mist this morning. Rain moves back in later today, and by the end of the day, we could go from thunderstorms to snowflakes. We're going to get to it in your forecast.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, pack the umbrella. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to have you here as our live local news source through 9 a.m. And our top story this hour, detectives now arrested a second person in connection to the McMinnville magnet school shooting. This is an update to the breaking news story from last week.
Right now, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live to tell us more about these arrests. Hi there, Karen.
Hi there, Erica and Jen. Well, police are charging 17-year-old Ashton Brown for allegedly shooting and killing two teens somewhere in this parking lot behind McMinnville Magnet School last week. They say one teen was killed right here and the other was taken to the hospital and later died. Police arrested Brown last night at his place. They believe he is the second shooter responsible for the crime. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested the teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. We're working on talking to the victims' families as police continue their investigation. They believe that drugs may be a motive in the shooting, but are looking into it. Reporting live in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you so much. And kicking off your Monday morning, I want to share the top 3 things that you need to know before heading out the door. This morning, Israel's military says they have rescued 2 hostages from Gaza who were held in a heavily guarded apartment. The 2 men were then airlifted to a hospital, and this comes as Palestinian health officials say more than 67 people were killed in the raid and airstrikes over there.
All right, Super Bowl headlines. Yes, the big game last night, and the Kansas City Chiefs are now Super Bowl champs again. And it was an overtime victory against the San Francisco 49ers. Final score 25-22. Hey, if you were somebody who bought squares and your numbers were 5 and 2, and you were thinking, I have some of the worst possible numbers for Super Bowl squares, boy, did you win big last night with that 5. The winning touchdown thrown by Patrick Mahomes, of course, for the Kansas City Chiefs to Mr. Hardiman, who had an end zone celebration. We'll get you more Super Bowl headlines throughout the course of the hour.
Politics now. The Senate is one step closer to passing an aid package for Ukraine and Israel after voting yesterday to, yes, move forward on a roughly $95 billion aid bill. The package also includes humanitarian aid for Gaza. A final vote on the bill in the Senate could come sometime this week.
5:03 our time, and a lot to unpack when it comes to our forecast today. Almost a little bit of everything. Right now, fog and mist. Not bad when it comes to temperatures. Right side of your screen, we're sitting right near 50 degrees, so we're not cold at all. Just could slow you down a little bit trying to get out the door this morning. No severe weather likely as these showers and storms move in. We could get a little bit of a wind gust or 2 here or there, or some small size hail right along the Alabama state line, but we're not looking at a big day where we're going to be worried about a ton of strong thunderstorm activity. However, this has been changing even in the last 3 hours. The potential for some snow tonight. Now, this is not going to be a bunch of snow that sticks necessarily, but there will be some snowflakes flying we're going to find on Future Track for you. And you may still even be awake when they're coming down, and this includes the Nashville area. I'm going to keep us all clear for Code Red, though, because we don't have dangerous weather moving in, and the snow is not going to be shutting down the whole area tomorrow, because whatever does make it to ground level and hits the ground, it may stick for a little while, but it will end up melting because of how warm our ground and our air temperatures are. Speaking of temperatures, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast and piece together your entire week, and then we'll kind of chisel out each chunk of time for today in the next check of the forecast in 5 minutes. Today, 61 degrees, 54 tomorrow, and then right near 60 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Not a guarantee that we get rain on Saturday, but all indications are that would be our next weather maker after today.
Greg, thank you. Breaking news in steer clear traffic right now. We just got our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live on the scene of this crash along I-65 as you approach 840 down near Spring Hill. And it does look like a significant scene involving a tractor trailer. Justin was telling you about this crash in the 4 o'clock hour, and now we can see why traffic is at a standstill. It's because that tractor trailer is across every lane of traffic right now. So here's what we know, and just bear with us while Kevin gives us this live shot. And Kevin, we appreciate you getting here. The crash, according to TDOT, happened in the northbound lanes of I-65. All right, so this is, I'm thinking for those of you who live in Spring Hill and you would typically get on I-65 to come up into Nashville this morning, don't do that. Don't get on I-65 if you live in Columbia this morning. Don't get on I-65 if you live in Spring Hill. Instead, take 31 to come in, or depending on what side of town you're on, you can take 431. So again, this is I-65 northbound as you approach 840, and all lanes of traffic are at a standstill. And Erica, too, it's interesting just looking at the TDOT map. This has also caused a backup in the other direction. We're guessing maybe just because of people, looky-loo, right, pumping the brakes and rubbernecking. So we're going to work to get you some information and more live looks in just a couple minutes.
Unfortunately, we have had several different deaths throughout the years with children who are in unregulated care.
A tough story to share here. A 6-month-old baby dying in an unlicensed daycare. This happened over in South Nashville. And medical examiners this morning are still determining what caused that baby to go ahead and die.
Fox 17 News did have a chance to speak with the woman who was watching that child. The woman, who is not licensed, says that she put the 6-month-old girl down for a nap in a baby chair Thursday afternoon, but said the baby wouldn't wake up. She said she tried to revive the child. The baby's mother arrived moments later and called 911. Police tell Fox 17 News there were no signs of trauma, but an autopsy will be done. By the way, using an unlicensed daycare, some would say, is something you need to really consider before looking for childcare options. We understand, through many parents who we've talked to over the last couple of years, it can be difficult to find affordable childcare, especially in Nashville. But police and other experts would tell you, please make sure that you are, checking everything about the childcare facility that you're using.
After the break, Blount County honoring a fallen deputy as the man accused of killing him is still out there this Monday morning.
And a crash over the weekend. They're at.
At 5:10, Fox 17 News has continuing coverage as the funeral of an officer killed in the line of duty that has now been scheduled.
Yeah, we go to Blount County, Tennessee, which is East Tennessee, where Deputy Greg McCowan will be laid to rest Wednesday. The man accused of shooting and killing him and injuring another deputy is still on the run this morning.
A makeshift memorial right here on your screen stands in front of the Blount County Sheriff's Office. This is honoring Deputy McGowan. Police say 42-year-old Kenneth DeHart refused to cooperate after getting pulled over Thursday night. It was our breaking news last week. At one point, the deputies, they went ahead, they used a taser on DeHart, and that's when they say DeHart fired at officers. Now a $100,000 reward is being offered to bring justice. If you think you may have seen something, maybe you have some information about his whereabouts, you were asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Continuing coverage this morning of an early morning crash in Nashville that claimed the lives of 4 people. This happened just yesterday morning, right before church, around 6:45 on Bell Road at Brittany Park Drive. That's where police say a Camaro missed a curve crossing into oncoming traffic. Officers say that car hit a Toyota SUV. All 4 people in the Camaro were killed. The driver of the Toyota is expected to be okay.
We are continuing to update you with the breaking news regarding your traffic update out of Williamson County. So we're showing you some live looks. This is where all lanes of I-65 North are closed because of a crash. And we showed you earlier how that semi-truck was just blocking all lanes northbound of traffic.
Oh yeah, so the Williamson County Sheriff's Office has put out an alert this morning. If you are in Columbia, which I know is Murray County, but if you're in Spring Hill, which is partly in Williamson County, you are definitely going to want to avoid I-65 at all costs. Don't get on the interstate this morning. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. In fact, Eric and I were watching during the 4 o'clock hour, the same cars stuck in the same place, not moving at all for an entire hour. So one of the things we're working to find out is whether there are any injuries or whether there are any deaths connected to this crash. And as we get those updates, we'll be bringing them to you live through 9.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist because he's saying A word that starts with an S, snow, is possible.
It is possible, yeah, and it's actually gone up a little bit as far as the chance to see some flakes flying since I even got here a couple hours ago. So things are already in motion here. We're going to walk you through it as any new information moves in throughout the rest of this morning. Here's how you read this. The higher the bar you match it to the time, that's how good our chance is for rain to be on the radar at that point. So later this morning into early afternoon, this is the area here where not only does the coverage kind of go up a little bit in terms of how much is on the radar across the board, but that's also when we get cold enough to where it is possible. We could see some snow tonight. If we quickly cool down enough, we're very warm. Right side of your screen, 50s. We'll be at 60 later today. Now, just because flakes are flying does not mean that much of it sticks. There could be some slick spots. There could be some glazed over areas, especially in the plateau and north of I-40, but we're not really worried about any major accumulations from this. Whatever does stick melts extremely quickly, and it may even melt by tomorrow morning. But here's the progression of this morning. We're going to stop it before we get to the blue, but I want you to see what you're getting through this morning first up until lunchtime, 8 a.m. to 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock through 11. Some oranges, some reds, some heavy downpours, might even catch a thunderstorm or two. We're going to pick up right where we left off coming up in the next Check Your Forecast.
Greg, thank you. Also ahead here on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a shooting at a megachurch over in Houston, and the shooter reportedly brought her child along.
And as promised, we're going to get more highlights from the Super Bowl last night. How did you
Tease $7.64 with coupon. Plus, take an extra 15% off other finds and earn Kohl's Cash. Kohl's.
We are continuing to follow breaking news out of Williamson County. That is where northbound lanes of I-65, giving you a live look here in the top left-hand corner, those are all blocked off because of a crash there.
Right, so this is north of Spring Hill. So just want to reiterate this morning, the big traffic warning right now is if you live in Columbia, Spring Hill, or anywhere south of that, for that fact, don't get on I-65. You can't go anywhere. Best detour is going to be 31 to come into Nashville if you've got to get in this morning. And we did just get an update from Williamson County Sheriff's Office. We had told you that traffic was also restricted in the southbound lanes. Okay, so I think both directions near 840, but those southbound lanes, according to Williamson County, have now all reopened.
A little bit of good news there.
Yes, so that's the good news. So like if you're leaving Nashville and you've got to get down toward, I don't know, Alabama this morning, you should be fine in those southbound lanes. But we're going to monitor this breaking news situation and bring you those updates as they come in, both through live looks from Kevin, our photojournalist out there, and also we'll check in with Justin McFarland in just a few minutes and steer clear traffic.
We're also getting some more updates about a particular church shooting inside of a mega church over in Houston. It is led by popular pastor Joel Osteen.
Yeah, when I first heard about this over the weekend, and I just heard Lakewood, and I knew immediately that it was that Lakewood. As Erica mentioned, the mega church in Houston. Police say a woman in a trench coat with a long rifle walked into Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church Sunday afternoon. The woman had a child with her. The last reports I saw said that that child was 5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
The woman came in and started firing. Now, 2 off-duty officers returned fire, killing the woman. That 5-year-old is in critical condition this morning. We also understand a 57-year-old man had been shot and is undergoing treatment. Joel Osteen said that it happened while there was a break in between services, and said that this could have been much worse if it had happened during, for example, their full morning service.
Oh yeah, police are still investigating this shooting and trying to determine a motive for this attack, so more updates to come throughout this week. Oof, that's scary. Hey, we're talking about sports. Did you watch the big game last night? Are you kind of sleepy this morning?
I tried. I mean, I tried to watch it all, but I had no idea it would go to overtime like it did. Man, what a finish. We have so much to talk about, whether it's, you know, the overtime finish, the halftime show, the commercials, Taylor Swift.
We had to say her name.
A lot going on.
Fox News' Marianne Rafferty has a Super Bowl recap. Listen.
The Chiefs are Super Bowl champs.
The Kansas City Chiefs defeating the San Francisco 49ers to become Super Bowl 58 champions.
I just know that the Kansas City Chiefs are never underdogs.
Sunday's close game was a nail-biter heading into overtime with both teams at 19 points. The 49ers were the first to score a 3-point field goal in overtime, but a last-second touchdown by the Chiefs secured their 25-22-point victory. Chiefs quarterback and 3-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes lifting the Lombardi Trophy up sky high.
It was a microcosm of our whole season. I'm just proud of the guys. They kept believing.
Their win sending shockwaves of excitement to Chiefs fans across the country. But not all the action inside Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium was sports-based. 8-time Grammy Award winner Usher really rocked out during the halftime show.
Spotlight, big stage.
The singer performed a medley of some of his major hits with fellow performers Alicia Keys, Her, Ludacris, Lil Jon, and others joining him on stage. Meanwhile, all eyes were also on Taylor Swift throughout football's biggest night. The superstar flew in after her concert in Japan to Sin City to support her boyfriend, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. And the celebrations are set to continue with a victory parade for the Chiefs scheduled for Wednesday back in Kansas City. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
All right, a lot of action last night.
Hey, listen, we're going to talk later this morning, too, about something that is local to the Super Bowl, and what a night for Jawan Jennings.
Yes, the first touchdown over there. I mean, it's great.
He plays for the 49ers, and we knew going into this game, Greg, we had two local players, Jawan Jennings, who played at Blackman and Murfreesboro, and Jared Mason from Gallatin High School, both on the 49ers squad. So, big night for Jawan Jennings.
And they even did a Murfreesboro shout out.
They did. We heard
like,
that.
yes.
I know. Did you get to see any of it last night?
I watched the first half, watched halftime, and then climbed into bed, and I couldn't keep opening the eyes just to kind of peek to see what was going on. So I caught the whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jennings doing something that only one other player in Super Bowl history has done.
He's a receiver who threw for a touchdown.
And then he caught a touchdown later in the game.
Putting Murfreesboro on the map. Okay.
Wow, I mean, what a game for our local player right there. And taking a look here, this is Future Track where we were at. Like I said, I'll leave you right where we left off at 11 o'clock. This is going to be later on this morning into the afternoon, and then we go to 2 o'clock. This is all rain at this point. Showers, a few weak thunderstorms can't be ruled out, and then we get into 7 o'clock. Cold air quickly begins to move in from the north. Watch what happens to the coloring here. We go to blue. And this is all the way Bowling Green down through Dickson. Is it guaranteed that every one of these spots gets the snow? No, but we're going to be cold enough way up in the atmosphere to potentially bring in some snow that does come down. It could slick over a few areas, glaze over a little of the pavement out there as well. We're really warm, so not much will stick, but you're going to go from 60s and thunderstorms to snowflakes and overnights temperatures in the 30s. That's a real big shift to the system here when it comes to just 12 hours. And you're going to be awake for all of it. 61 degrees temperature this afternoon, 34 overnight tonight, 54 degrees will be your temperature tomorrow, and then we're dry for the rest of the week.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-65 and I-840. As you make that drive into town, we now know we are dealing with a tractor trailer involved in that particular crash out there on the south side of town in Williamson County near 840. That is clogging things up. They've reopened part of the lanes here, and you make that drive out and about. But these lanes here, they seem to be going inbound, are the ones that are giving us the biggest problems here this morning. Let's show it to you here on our maps, and yeah, that's where the problems are coming inbound. So if you're down south of here, Spring Hill, Columbia, I'm talking to all of you trying to make that drive into town this morning, I wouldn't suggest using 65. Here's Highway 31 through Thompson Station, 431 Lewisburg Pike. That's a good way to steer clear as well. Anything except for 65 this morning. We'll get an update from our crew live there on the scene coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. Coming up, the city of Nashville is spending more than $1 million to transform Brookmead Park.
Park leaders warning that some of them
into your morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, gravy, or country fried steak. Any two, just $5. Enjoy heart-shaped biscuits now through Valentine's Day.
Following breaking news from Williamson County this morning, let's get you out and about. This is where we are dealing with an 18-wheeler that is involved in that crash down there, closing lanes on I-65 in Williamson County. That is where crews are working now to try and get things all cleared up after that particular crash out there. And it has got traffic shut down now. It's been happening since around 3:30 this morning. I would suggest Highway 431 is the best way to steer clear. Crews are now working to get that tractor trailer going in the right direction here. Looks like they're making major progress and could be reopening a lane coming up here soon. We'll give you an update coming up here in just a few moments. Thank you to Kevin Mumphrey on the scene for us, our photojournalist. Well, let's talk about something that's happening at Brookmead Park over in West Nashville. It's going to take another year before Brookmead Park in West Nashville is ready to reopen to the public. The city of Nashville is going to spend $1.2 million trying to bring the park back to life. Now, some people want to see kayaking and picnics and other areas there at the park. However, the city says that most of Brookmead Park is in a floodplain, and because of that, it just isn't conducive for the kind of activities that the public wants to see.
So going forward, the department plans to return the park to its original state and function, which was a greenway with open space. The configuration, location, and topography of the park does not lend itself to some of the amenities seen in other parks in the system.
Now, just so you know, Brookmead Park has been shut down for over a year now because of a large homeless encampment that was set up there at the park. At one point, 75 of Nashville's unhoused community lived there at Brookmead Park.
And here we are, 5:27, a sneak peek at your weekend. We're going to be a little bit cooler, 47 on Saturday and 51 on Sunday. But if you're that person who starts planning your weekend already on a Monday, you're picking Sunday as the better day, but it will be much cooler than where we're at right now in the 50s.
Circular traffic for you this morning, getting out onto I-65 here. This is going to be 65 at 8:40. We were just showing you that tractor trailer involved in that crash a short time ago that had traffic really tied up, and it still does down here in this particular area. What you want to use Highway 431 or Highway 31. Either one will help you steer clear of this particular crash because the roads are really backed up down there in Williamson County. We've been in contact with the sheriff's office and with THP. We're also there on the scene ourselves, so we'll continue to provide you live updates. As a matter of fact, we'll have another one coming up here for you in about 90 seconds. But coming up, we're also going to tell you about 2 Cub Scouts who are getting some praise for their quick thinking that saved the life of a loved one. We'll tell you where.
Stay Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a trial in a 2018 double murder case is set for today. The history of this case and who's on trial.
Waking up to some fog and some mist this morning, visibility issues, rain moving in throughout the day, and then snowflakes before you go to bed. We have a lot to unpack in the forecast for you here on a Monday morning.
Okay, Greg, hold on. We're going to pump the brakes on that and in steer clear traffic.
Yeah, steer clear traffic. The traffic is moving there on the south side of town. Finally, after 2 hours, traffic's moving again thanks to a tractor trailer accident. We're going to give you the details on that coming up in a few.
You heard Greg right just a moment ago. He's talking about snow for tonight. So that caused us to kind of do a little bit of a double take. Hold on, pump the brakes. But yeah, we're going to get to that and the likelihood that any of this would stick coming up in just a few minutes.
We do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning and right to our breaking news situation. It is out of Williamson County. Justin was just talking about it. The good news is that we're getting an update and the roads are seeming to reopen here.
Yeah, so this is I-65 in the northbound lanes north of Spring Hill. So the traffic message this morning has been if you live Spring Hill, Columbia, or anywhere south of that, not to get on I-65. I would still say that would be the best recommendation until all this the backlog can get cleared out. We did have a tractor trailer crashed out, blocking all lanes of traffic, and just moments ago, they were able to get it out of the way. So yes, good news, traffic is flowing again, backups will remain, and we'll check in with Justin here in just a couple of minutes to get you a more comprehensive look at this, plus the detours you might still want to take, coming up in just a couple minutes.
Right now, though, police say one teenager has been arrested in connection with the shooting of 2 teenagers behind Meg's Magnet School. We talked about this as breaking news last week.
We sure did. So let's get straight to Karen right now with the breaking news update.
That's right. It was behind Meg's Middle Magnet School, and police say that the suspects walked to this parking lot and shot and killed those two teenagers. Police say that one of the teens died right here and the other went to the hospital and then died over there. Now, police are charging 17-year-old Ashton Brown with double homicide for allegedly shooting and killing those two teens. Police arrested Brown last night at his place. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested the teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. Bills' family has a GoFundMe page for him to cover his funeral expenses and other things. We are working to talk to Bills and McAdams' families. In the meantime, police are investigating if drugs were a motive in this shooting. We have those updates. We'll bring them to you. Reporting live in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In your community, two young heroes from a Clarksville Cub Scout troop are getting top honors. Great story to start off on Monday.
Yeah, what a good one here. Christopher and William Schroeder awarded the Medal of Merit for their courage and quick thinking when they saved their grandfather's life. The boys' grandfather went into cardiac arrest, and the boys did not hesitate to perform CPR, saving their grandfather. They used techniques that they learned as scouts.
Wow, so William was also selected as the Middle Tennessee Council Cub Scout of the Year. Just a fantastic way to step in and save Grandpa.
You know, he would be a great candidate for our hometown hero.
Bingo.
When we talk about everyday people doing extraordinary things in our community, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about.
All right, Jenny, let me have it. Time right now, 5:35. I mentioned the word
Put
snow.
it on us, Greg. Come on.
Well, I'm going to bed last night. It looked like, oh, there might be a couple of little flakes.
Okay.
Waking up this morning, it looks like we're going to get a lot colder more quickly. And I'm looking at Joan over here. We're kind of making eye contact.
Yeah, we are. I see you.
Is that now it looks like it's more likely we do get some snow before even 10 o'clock tonight. Not much going to stick because of how warm we are, but flakes will be coming down. It could give us a few slick spots, and we could even get a little minor accumulation on non-paved areas. So we're monitoring for Code Red. I'm going to get one more update here in the next half hour. And if we start seeing more indications of how we're trending, we've got to watch the entire day, because before we even get to that, we have some showers and storms possible. Right now, misty and foggy. Later this morning into the afternoon, showers and storms and up near 60. Then before 10 o'clock, snowflakes and temperatures that fall into the 30s by tomorrow morning. A lot of moving pieces here in this forecast for you. This is the overall setup that we're going to deconstruct here and break down on Future Track and look at possibilities of dropping temperatures and anything that could stick. 61 degrees of temperature later on today, 34 overnight. Then 50s to right near 60 for the rest of this week, and the rest of this week is also going to stay dry. So today's that one day where we really do get a little bit of everything in the forecast. So we'll keep breaking it down. Every new update coming into the Weather Center, we'll get to you as quickly as we can.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at what we're dealing with. This is going to be on I-65 and I-840 as you make that drive down on the south side of town. This is the drive that we've been facing throughout the morning since around 3:30, where we've seen some serious slowdowns. At one point, an all stop here on 65 because of an accident involving a tractor trailer coming up around the 840 area. The good news is, in the last, say, 5 to 10 minutes or so, they've been able to open up lanes so traffic can get flowing again, and hopefully this backlog can get some relief, making its way into town. Here it is right here on I-65, coming up from places like Columbia and Spring Hill down to the south of here. That is where the biggest backup is right now. You can get some relief by taking Highway 431 right here, Highway 31 on this side. Either one will help you bypass some of this backup until things start to thin out as far as that traffic is concerned.
Well, happening today, the trial begins for one of the suspects charged in the killing of two men outside of the Cobra Bar. This happened back in 2018.
This is a story that really shook the community when it happened. So police charged DeMontre Logsden and one other man in the killing of Jamie Sarantonio and Bartley Teal right outside of that East Nashville bar. When I say this shook that community, East Nashville, I'm not sure has ever fully recovered from what happened there. The two victims were just out there celebrating Teal's birthday. We know one of the other suspects was found guilty just last June in this case and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And a third person also faces lesser charges related to the double murder. But again, trial starts today for one of those three charged in the killing of those two men outside of the Cobra Bar.
5:38 is the time, and coming up, the Secretary of Defense is back in the hospital after being criticized for how he handled his last health scare. So we're going to talk more about this.
And right now at 5:38, good morning to you, and a live look from Kansas City where the Chiefs are celebrating. It was a really good run for the 49ers, and they had, glimpses of glory there, especially with our local kid, Jawan Jennings. But the question of the morning for you is, what did you enjoy the most about the Super Bowl this year? If you watched it, we want you to sound off right now over on our Fox Nashville Twitter account. We're asking, did you love the football?
For signing up, Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
Injured? Call America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey there, good morning to you on this Monday. It's 5:41 and wanted just to let you know that we continue to keep you updated in the breaking news story this morning. And it's in steer clear traffic down in Williamson County, where all lanes of I-65 are now reopened after a serious crash a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, that call initially coming in around 3:30 this morning, and our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live on the scene giving us an update. And you can see the cars are slowly but surely making their way through. So an excellent update for folks who are, stuck out there for a while this morning.
Oh man, there were people who were sitting on the interstate for the better part of 2 hours. And we know that because we could see it on our traffic camera, the same car sitting in the same place for 2 hours. So thankfully they're able to move again. We'll check in with Justin here in just a couple of minutes. He's going to continue to work you through those detours because it still might be the kind of deal where if you're Spring Hill, Columbia, or South, you may still want to avoid I-65.
We're also talking about another story involving national news, and it involves Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, who is now back in the hospital, but for something different this particular time.
Yeah, health concerns continue here this morning. A Pentagon spokesperson saying that Austin went to Walter Reed Hospital just yesterday for symptoms that might suggest some kind of bladder issue. A spokesman says the secretary will be maintaining the functions and duties of his office while he is in the hospital. Now, this is important because back in December, Secretary Austin had surgery for prostate cancer, and he took a lot of criticism at that time for not informing the White House about the status of his health, especially, in the event that something catastrophic were to happen, and they didn't really know what was going on. So just keeping you updated there, and as we get new information, we'll bring it to you.
Let's check in now with Greg Lovis. Good morning.
Good morning. 5:43 is your time here, and a quick check of just the big things to come. Rain and thunderstorms late morning into the afternoon. Then temperatures drop very quickly, and depending upon how quickly they will drop as the system moves through the first half of tonight, it is possible we could see some snowflakes, not just flakes, but some really heavy flakes coming down that could even give some minor accumulations in a few spots, which includes Nashville onto the north and the Cumberland Plateau. Now, between now and then, we have to work through the rain. We have the mist, we have fog this morning, low visibility. Taking a look here at Future Track, 8 goes into 9 and 10 o'clock, and the rain begins to move in from south to north. And this is just the beginning. We'll get a few more showers and even a few weak thunderstorms through the afternoon. Here's 2 p.m. and really the entire day on and off. The chance for some rain will be there once the first drops start falling in your neighborhood. There's the blue that moves in. 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, our best chance to start seeing some snowflakes flying.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-65. I-65 and I-840 down there in the Williamson County area. We are dealing with a bit of a backup down there in that area because of that earlier tractor-trailer accident involving that 18-wheeler. One lane is now open there instead of two. They still can get by as that tow truck is in place, try to get that crash out of the way. Overall, drive time starting to improve just a little bit, but you can still take 431 or Highway 31. It's the best bet to steer clear of that traffic accident there as you make your way in from Williamson County.
Justin, thank you. At 5:45 right now, in case you missed it last night during the Super Bowl, Beyonce has announced some new music, and it's inspired by country music. We'll explain in minutes.
And adoptable puppies taking the field yesterday at the...
For a limited time, get a free adjustable base with qualifying mattress purchase. Plus, Tempur-Pedic Queen mattresses are starting at just $31 a month. Only at Ashley.
Well, the Super Bowl brought us a star-studded crowds and a nail-biter game for sure. But above all else, some say it brought some new music from, well, Beyonce.
Well, we were just talking during the commercial break. Did you catch Post Malone singing before the game? Country, Americana, I'm not sure what that was, but
I'm going to go with Reba.
He's trying to cross over. We had Reba, classic, doing the national anthem. And yes, we did learn that it sounds like Beyonce might be going country too.
Yeah, she's going to give it another go.
Okay. She announced through a commercial last night and through her online platforms that she is going into her country era.
Oh, okay.
They're calling it Act 2. And to Erica's point, it follows her 2022 Renaissance album, and she's going to give this another go.
Yeah. Well, I say another go because she had the song Daddy Issues.
Uh-huh.
God, I can't remember what year that was.
Was that Lemonade?
No, it was before that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, Kendall, our production.
It was Lemonade?
Guy says it
was
was
excuse
Lemonade.
me, I stand corrected. I just
Kendall's in the
remember
music industry, so I'll take him.
I remember her performing that song on stage.
Yeah.
So she's going to give some more, country feels to this album.
Country Feels being Texas Hold'em, one of her title tracks, and 16 Carriages.
Interesting.
Going to be released March 29th.
All right, so we're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus. You had a lot to talk about. Curious, though, did you like the Post Malone performance? Or are you more Reba?
I mean, as soon as Reba sang, I forgot Post Malone sang.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Forgettable.
That's kind of how it was for me. I was immediately like, ooh, now we're here.
Listen, Reba brought the hardware too.
Oh,
did you
heck
see
yeah,
the belt buckle
Yes.
and the chains and everything?
She was great on social media talking about her outfit. I could go on for a long time, though, so.
We're Reba fans around here.
As we should be. Taking a look at your forecast. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about here. Waking up on a Monday morning to some things that weren't even in the forecast yesterday when you went to bed. So we've got to break down a lot of developments in just the last 4 hours that we're seeing coming about here. And there's still some uncertainty to them, which is also not that typical. When I mean uncertainty, I mean about snowfall. Yeah, snowfall tonight and how much we could see. Jogging forecast this morning, mist, visibility issues due to fog, and then light rainfall going to move in after 9 to 10 o'clock here after this particular jogging forecast. So if you're a runner, you're going to have wet pavement in some spots, and you might be I'm more of a kind of nuisance morning. Now, every morning after this one looks great. They'll be a little bit colder, but look at the temperature swing we get. We dry out from Tuesday all the way through Friday, and then a dip in temperature for your upcoming weekend. I mentioned the word snow multiple times right there, not to scare anyone, but just so you know what's coming our way. Showers, storms, and snow. I'll track all three of those in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-65 and I-840 as you make that drive out and about. Things continuing to improve as you make your way over near 840 there near Williamson County. Good news coming in from Spring Hill, from Columbia there this morning so far. We are continuing to, okay, so they're going to move the camera. All right, fun. So let's see where they end up here. All right, so of course we've got our photographer there on the scene as well, watching out some of the things. As a matter of fact, that may be him right there watching the scene. But we can see that 18-wheeler right there. There it is. And they've got the tow truck in place trying to pull that out of the way here. So while they continue to work on that, let's tell you the best way to steer clear. You can see the backup on 65. Here's Highway 431 on this side, Highway 31 on this side. Either one's going to help you steer clear until they get that tractor trailer fully out of the way.
Justin, thank you. Let's talk about puppies. We love puppies.
That bring a smile to your face.
Well, yesterday, the Puppy Bowl in Music City and the tail waggy turnout, it was high.
I gotta love this, right? So if you don't love football or the commercials or the halftime show, I mean, who can turn away these sweet little puppies? This is the Nashville Zoo hosting the Puppy Bowl. The Team Claws and Team Paws facing off on the field. So we had Paws and Claws going at it. None of these puppies know the rules, of course, but they're all so good at looking cute. Trying to make some tackles. We're not for sure, but cuteness overload here in the Music City Puppy Bowl. I would love for this to become a normal national thing.
What we do know is that the puppies on both teams, though, were adopted, and that's fantastic.
Everybody wins.
The National Humane Association has more furry friends of all types that are up for adoption, and they want you to know whether they can play football or not, they are worthy of getting a good old home.
Hey, at 5:52 right now, you could say there's a new place to rock the vote. Nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now announced, plus how you can weigh in on the choices.
And how the drug
morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, gravy, or country fried steak. Any two, just $5. Enjoy heart-shaped biscuits now through Valentine's Day.
5:55 is the time. Right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look at that Nashville skyline. Looks like a little foggy out there this morning. So we are also tracking showers and snow. We're going to be entering a code red weather alert, letting you know just to be aware for what's coming later this evening as far as those light snow. No accumulation, going to melt as soon as it hits the ground, but just something we do want you to be aware of. So we'll give you a full forecast with that alert in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Greg says we have the potential to go from thunderstorms to snow in the same forecast. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Right now, though, this year's 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have officially been announced. Let's take a look at the list.
Yes, Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Cher, Lenny Kravitz, and Sinead O'Connor making a few of the icons to make this list. This is their first time being nominated. Ozzy Osbourne also on the list as a solo artist after already being inducted back with his band Black Sabbath.
More than 1,000 artists in all, historians and music industry professionals will vote on the nominees. But you, as fans, can vote online or in person at the museum, and your votes will be tallied as well. The official class of 2024 will be announced at the end of April.
I'm trying to figure out how is... what's his name? We just showed him. Lenny Kravitz. How is he not already in there?
I don't know.
Weird. Okay.
Let's get to the weather. Greg is here to tell us about we're running the gamut here today for a Monday.
This is new.
And this is new, isn't it? I haven't seen you talk about this yet.
Yep. This is new winter weather advisory for several of our counties through southern Kentucky. This starts at noon. This goes through midnight tonight. This is just one factor I've been watching change drastically since about 1 o'clock this morning. So you went to bed with a different weather story than you're waking up to right now. Winter weather advisory, though. Not a ton of snow coming down, but there could be areas in some upper elevations or some grassy surfaces that could get a dusting to an inch of snow that comes down tonight between 6 p.m. and around midnight. That's after hitting nearly 60 degrees during the afternoon and seeing some showers and some thunderstorms that pick up this morning into the afternoon as well. So there are a lot of different stages to our forecast, and there are a lot of new developments that we're working through with you here this morning. Yeah, we're going to get one more model run of things that come in, and if it holds true, the red lights are going to have to go on here for us, and then from 7 to 9, we'll push you through all the new updates we get and get you out the door here on what's going to end up being active Monday in the weather world.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a look here at I-65 and I-840. We've been watching this crash over on the south side of Williamson County for a little while involving this 18-wheeler. We are waiting for full lanes to reopen here, but until it does, things are going to run a bit slow coming in from Williamson County. Let's take a look at that map. 47 minutes in from the south side. You can take Highway 31 or 31's over here. Highway 31 or 431 is the best way to steer clear. Coming up in a few minutes, though, we're going to take a look at some other sides of town. We've been following this crash since 3:30 in the morning.
5:58 is the time right now. Justin, thank you. A popular drug for men might also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. There's a study in the journal Neurology that looked at the records of about 270,000 men taking Viagra.
Well, they found that those taking Viagra were 18% less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. The research, though, did not uncover possible reasons, and they also recommended additional research using both men and women. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, impacting more than 6 million people in the U.S. ages 65 or older.
Caretakers at an aquarium in North Carolina say they're baffled this morning after getting news that a stingray there is pregnant, even though there have been no other stingrays around Mama. Researchers say this stingray named Charlotte is expecting, which they say is puzzling because, as I mentioned, the center doesn't have any male stingrays.
Okay, so at first the team thought she had cancer, but after running some tests, they found out that, yeah, she's pregnant. They do say there might just be 2 ways that Charlotte ended up pregnant, and they really won't know until the pups are born. One is a very rare process called parthenogenesis. And listen, if I mess that up, don't get mad at me. But that is when the eggs develop on their own and then create a clone of the mother.
That's pretty wild. The other option they say could be that, and this is where things get a little interesting, that she was mingling with a young shark that stayed in the tank last July. So could we have some kind of stingray shark new breed? It's like the Doodles, except underwater. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? As soon as we find out, we'll be sure to let you know. Inquiring minds want to know, y'all. 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have an update on the McMinnville Magnet School shooting.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, Blount County mourning a deputy who was killed on the line of duty. We're having updates on the man accused of killing him who has still not been caught. Greg.
Waking up misty and foggy, rain, thunderstorms, 60s, snow that could stick, and then 30s all within 24 hours. It's a lot coming your way in your forecast.
And it looks like that traffic crash on I-65 near 840 is finally totally clear. We're going to take you to the scene coming up in a few.
Okay, we do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Monday morning. Maybe you're sleepy from the Super Bowl, but I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Did you call out today?
Oof.
You know, this is the day of the year when workplaces have the highest absence rate. If you're hanging out with us, we're glad you're here. Either way, we'll have you covered live through 9. Let's get right to our breaking news update of this Monday morning. It does come to us in steer clear traffic from down south of Nashville and Williamson County.
Yeah, this is where initially all lanes of I-65 north were closed, but you can tell right now they have partially reopened here. It was a slow go of it, that call initially coming in around 3:30. So right now, actually, it is all clear. Justin McFarland telling us they're good to go.
Okay, so according to the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, here's what we know so far. There was a tractor trailer that crashed and was spanning all lanes of traffic here, so they brought it all to a halt for about 2 hours. Deputies right now working to find out what might have caused the crash. We're also working to find out was anybody injured or otherwise. And as we get those updates, we'll be sure to bring them to you here live through 9.
We also have some more breaking news updates for a story that we initially shared with you last week. Detectives have arrested the second suspect in connection with the McMinnville Magnet School shooting in that parking lot.
All right, so let's get straight out for that update to Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. You can imagine the pain of the victims' families finding out that their loved ones were shot and killed in this parking lot behind McMinnville Magnet School last week. Well, now a GoFundMe page is up for one of the victims to cover their funeral expenses, and it says that he was a light to be around. Those families can now have justice since two of the two suspects have been arrested. Just last night, police arrested 17-year-old Ashton Brown at his place. He is the second shooter responsible for the crime. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested the teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. We are working on speaking to the victims' families as police continue their investigation. Police say drugs could have been a motive in the shooting, but they are looking into it. Reporting live in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Let's talk about sports. The Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Yeah, they took home the win last night in a narrow overtime victory over the San Francisco 49ers.
What a matchup going into overtime. The final score 25-22. The winning touchdown, of course. Let's see if we can get it right.
Here we go. Okay.
So I know San Francisco 49ers fans are just heartbroken this morning over that loss. They had a great season, but unfortunately just not enough with coach there and Brock Purdy. We want to hear from you about what happened last night. First of all, did you watch? All right. And if you did watch, we're asking, what was your favorite part of this year's Super Bowl?
Your options are the football, of course, the commercials, or maybe the halftime show. 68% of you all say it's the football that mattered most to me.
All right, if you want to sound off, you can vote in the poll, or maybe there was something else that you liked about it. You can leave us a comment. Scan that QR code right there on your screen right now. This is live and interactive, so you can tell us what you think over at twitter.com.
Greg, what do you think about the forecast today? It's a doozy.
We got our work cut out for us today, just from start to finish. We really do. We're waking up with some visibility issues and some mist. We're going to get rain, could see a few weak thunderstorms, and then some snow before we get to 10 o'clock tonight. That's how we're working through all this right now. Watching this specifically, snow flurries now turning to snow showers from what it looks like, a little bit on the heavier side. Not a lot that sticks, but snow coming down. Higher elevations could see some glazed over spots. grassy surfaces, anything that's not actual pavement has a chance to be covered by up to an inch of snow in some spots. And this is a little more widespread than our typical just Cumberland Plateau kind of situation. Finally drying out in the forecast after today. This morning, some wet roadways. Grab the umbrella. Increasing rain showers throughout late morning into the afternoon. Driving home later today, you may be going through some heavier downpours and might even hear a couple rumbles of thunder or see a little bit of lightning. And you can't see much right now. This camera looks better than it did about a half hour ago, but these patches of fog have been developing on and off throughout the morning.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get to I-65 and I-80. We've been following a crash there that has lasted for a good portion of the morning. Happy to report it is finally all clear. No more problems out there at 65 and 840. So now if you're making that drive up from the Columbia and Spring Hill area, no more issues there from Murray County, from Williamson County. We are all clear finally. Here's a look near the airport, I-40 at Dallas and Pike. If you've got the early morning flight into Nashville or out of Nashville, either way, we're looking fantastic out there near the airport on I-40 and near Dallas and Pike. We're going to tell you some other areas of town that we're watching coming up here in a few.
We are continuing to follow coverage of the funeral of an officer killed in the line of duty. It has now been scheduled. This is for Blount County Deputy Greg McCowan, who is going to be laid to rest Wednesday.
The man accused of shooting and killing McGowan and then injuring another deputy, by the way, still on the run this morning. And in case you missed it over the weekend, police did arrest that man's brother and sister. A makeshift memorial right now stands in front of the Blount County Sheriff's Office honoring Deputy McGowan. And this also, in case you're just not familiar, this is over in East Tennessee. Police say 42-year-old Kenneth DeHart, right here on your screen, refused to cooperate after getting pulled over Thursday night. At one point, the deputies used a taser on him, and that's when DeHart fired at the officers. A $100,000 reward now being offered to bring DeHart to justice. To give you some perspective on that reward, it was about $12,000 on Friday. Here it is Monday. It's now at more than $100,000. So if you think you have seen DeHart, police have said they were tracking him in the Maryville area Friday, but that was really the last they saw him. If you have any information that could help bring justice here, 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Coming up, the city of Nashville is spending more than $1 million to transform Brookmead Park, but park leaders are warning that some of the public's suggestions
be prepared in advance.
Fox 17 News Code Red Weather alerts,
empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
6:10 is the time. It's going to take another year before Brookmead Park in West Nashville is ready to reopen to the public. The city is going to spend $1.2 million trying to bring that park back to life. It is the new Brookmead Park that people want to have some input on. They say they want to see things like kayaking and places for picnics there in West Nashville, more than just a greenway trail for walking. But park leaders say because the park is located in a floodplain, they just don't think that's possible.
The top 5 survey responses: paved trails, restrooms, disc golf, paddleboard, and kayak access, covered pavilion or picnic area are great suggestions, but not viable because either the topography or the acreage and accessibility and/or cost. Because of the topography and limitations of the land, and then because it is isolated, there are some amenities that just would not be safe to put there given some of the dynamics of our city and our world now. But you know, we are working diligently to get it back open to the community.
Now, Brookmead Park closed back in January of 2023. At one point, up to 75 people lived in the park, and that was a big reason why the city had to close it.
6:11 your time. Let's take a look at the big picture just in case you want to know what the entire week has in store before we continue to deconstruct today on many stages of weather. 61 degrees this afternoon, but 34 overnight. Showers and storms today possible during the daylight hours. Some snowflakes after we get past sunset. Then we dry out. 54 on Tuesday, right near 60 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A little bit cooler for the upcoming weekend, but once we're done with today, no additional rain till Saturday.
Steer clear traffic out here for us this morning. Let's take a quick look here on the north side. This is going to be I-65 at Trinity Lane. As you make that drive in from that north side, you can see for yourself traffic is flowing and doing pretty well overall. No big slowdowns coming in from the north side there this morning. That is certainly great news. We'll be watching other areas of town coming up here over the next few minutes, but so far, so good. Well, coming up, Israel says its troops rescued 2 hostages from Hamas. The death toll in this operation coming up. And a shooting outside of Joel.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, just about 6:15 to start your Monday. Hope your day is off to a great start. This is a live look from downtown Nashville. A little overcast, a little misty, rainy, and the forecast is getting really interesting today. If you haven't had a chance to hear the full forecast just yet, maybe you just woke up. Buckle up. We've got everything from the potential to maybe a thunderstorm to snow. And so Greg is going to walk us through all of it every few minutes as he gets those updates coming in live through 9 a.m.
We're talking about international headlines, though. Israel says its forces rescued 2 hostages from Hamas earlier today from a heavily guarded apartment area in the southern Gaza Strip.
All right, so let's break down how this all happened. The rescue forces go in with heavy airstrikes. They pounded this area near that apartment in Rafah, a city on the southern edge of the Gaza Strip. This has been a point of contention in this entire war. Palestinian health officials run by Hamas say the operation killed 67 Palestinians, including women and children. But again, remember, the health ministry there is run by Hamas.
Politics now. President Joe Biden coming to the defense of Nikki Haley and her husband after GOP rival Donald Trump questioned the military veteran's whereabouts while he is currently deployed.
Fox News' Madeline Rivera with more this morning.
Nikki Haley is denouncing former President Trump's comments, saying it's, quote, part of a pattern of chaos.
It's a pattern of irresponsibility. It's a pattern of just saying things that are not helpful in strengthening America. And this is a chance America's going to get to decide.
This is in response to a dig the former president made at Haley Saturday. Trump at a rally was talking about a meeting he had with Haley in Mar-a-Lago. Then he brought up Haley's husband.
She comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
Michael Haley serves in the South Carolina Army National Guard. He began a year-long deployment to Africa in June. President Biden coming to Haley's defense on X, saying the answer is that Major Haley is abroad serving his country right now. We know he thinks our troops are, quote, suckers, but this guy wouldn't know service to his country if it slapped him in the face, referring to Trump there. This comes with less than 2 weeks to go before the South Carolina GOP presidential primary. Trump is looking to knock Haley out of the race and clinch the nomination. Haley, though, is unmoved, saying her team has put everything they've got into her home state and is sticking around until at least Super Tuesday. Haley is fundraising off Trump's statements about her husband, saying anyone who mocks a veteran isn't worthy of the presidency. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Madeline, thank you. We have an update this Monday for you. Today is the last day to go ahead and apply for federal assistance after the December tornadoes in Middle Tennessee. So just want to let you know, go ahead and get that done.
Yeah, you know, we've been telling you about this deadline coming. If you have damage or any kind of loss as a result of the tornadoes, you could be eligible for help from FEMA. They could help pay for temporary lodging, basic home repairs, personal property loss, and any other expenses. That's all available to you. But again, you do have to apply by the end of the day today. This Monday, February 12th, is the deadline. You can go to disasterassistance.gov if you need more help to kind of walk you through that process today.
If you're waking up right now, you might think, hey, it feels somewhat warm outside, but then we could get snow this evening. I mean, where are we going? all over the place.
We are going all over the place. Yes, you're right. We're going to go from 60 degrees to snow, thunderstorms, might even get some small size hail.
All right, so you're mentioning snow gets everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
we know this. Kids, don't start asking mom and dad if school's out. We're not going there right now, okay? But are we talking about any accumulation at all, or do you think the ground is still too warm?
I would not be shocked if we get at least some that sticks.
A little bit,
I
okay.
don't necessarily mean our main highways and the roads that are well traveled, but upper elevations, side streets, things like that could have a little accumulation on them. That's the new thing that we're waking up to this morning. That was not there when you went to sleep. We've known since late last week that a few flurries were possible. Well, now we're going to just flat out snow showers coming down. This is the big piece of the puzzle for the morning. Visibility doesn't look all that bad when you get toward Nashville, but there are some areas of fog. Cumberland Plateau, quite foggy this morning. A little mist coming down. That's the first part. Then rain moves in throughout the morning into the afternoon. This is going to give us the chance for some heavy downpours, possibly some embedded thunder and lightning, and again, even a little bit of small size hail. Our southeasternmost counties, right along the Alabama state line, have the smallest chance that the wind could get a little aggressive at times right in the middle of the day. Then we have a winter weather advisory in effect for portions of southern Kentucky. We're getting it all here. Taking a look at the blue moving in. This is 10 p.m. Everything between now and around 6 or 7 is all going to be rain or storm activity. Taking a look, this is Future Track pointing off a lot of blue. The dark blue meaning very big, heavy snowflakes that will be good packing snow. Only about a dusting to an inch in some spots is possible. Most of that does, to Jen's point, melt off because we have such warm air temperatures today and warm ground temperatures. But even so, if you're going to go from 60 to snow, that could catch you off guard real quick if you don't know what's coming your way.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. This is as you make your way down from the Sumner County area. Good morning. This is a part of your drive as you make that drive in from Hendersonville, Gallatin, Goodlettsville. Looking pretty well out there this morning. We saw a slight slowdown there from the Sumner County area, but not showing here on this particular camera. Just heads up as we're starting to see traffic pack in just a little bit. Here's I-40 at Spence Lane, making that drive in from places like Donaldson and Hermitage this morning. Doing okay so far there. We're going to take a closer look at I-24 coming up here in the next few minutes, plus your latest drive times.
At 6:21, we are learning more about a shooting inside a megachurch over in Houston, led by popular pastor Joel Osteen.
Right, and the details of this just so tragic. Police say a woman in a trench coat with a long rifle walked into Osteen's Lakewood Church Sunday afternoon. That woman had a child with her. And according to police, she walked in and just started firing. Now, we have learned that 2 off-duty officers returned fire, killing the woman, and that 5-year-old that she brought with her is in critical condition this morning.
A 57-year-old man was also shot and is currently undergoing treatment. Osteen said the shooting happened while there was a break between services. He added that the attack could have been much worse if it had happened during their morning service. Police, though, are still investigating the shooting and trying to track down a possible motive for everything that happened there.
At 6:22, we're going to switch gears and talk Super Bowl this morning. The highlights and the one local player who's at his shining moment for sure. We'll take a closer look at Juwan Jennings' big night.
Putting Murfreesboro on the map. And then over at Bridgestone Arena, the Preds coming up from behind for a big win, how they toppled the Coyotes, and what's next for the Predators. And we always want to just say thank you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning.
Inventory is here. Trade now for payments from $249 a month. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Good morning. Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now, 6:24. Talking Super Bowl, and a local star gets his moment, or moments, you could say, on the biggest stage. Former Blackman High School star and former Vol, Juwan Jennings, is a receiver for the 49ers.
Yes.
And boy, did he shine last night.
He certainly did. He got not just 1, but 2 game-changing plays. Let's take a look here during the first half of the Super Bowl. The 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy threw the ball over to Juwan Jennings, who then threw a strike over to Christian McCaffrey, who took care of the rest to the end zone for the touchdown, giving the 49ers a 10-0 lead over the Chiefs. Then after that, Jennings, He was at it again, but doing his actual normal job here. That's catching touchdown passes. Watch him fight his way into the end zone there for another touchdown. By the way, Jennings was a quarterback.
He sure was. At Blackman.
At Blackman High School down in Murfreesboro.
That's right.
So congratulations to him, even though his team came up just short in overtime. But he became the second player in Super Bowl history to both throw a touchdown pass and catch a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles was the other one, quarterback for the Eagles.
Saw so many people saying if the 49ers had won, he could have been the MVP.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Could have been the MVP there. So close. So
Good for him, though. Glad to see that. All right, let's get into hockey this morning. Nashville Predators back on the ice this weekend following that long All-Star break. And they had a little bit of making up to do if they want a chance in the postseason. They didn't waste any time last night.
No. The game was actually over the weekend here. The game was Saturday night.
Right,
Saturday night. The Preds hosting the Arizona Coyotes. The team, they've already lost twice to this season, but the Preds got into a rhythm early on. They were leading this game for a brief second, 2-1. Coyotes eventually worked their way up to a 42 lead. Nashville turns it around, scoring 2 goals in the third period before sending the game to overtime.
All right, defenseman Ryan McDonough is the one who gets his first overtime goal for the Preds. Loving it. Come from behind win. It's huge. 5-4 is the win over the Coyotes. And not just the win, but talk about starting the second half of the season right.
Yes.
I mean, that hopefully will set the tone.
Hopefully. The Preds are back in action tonight in New Jersey against the Devils.
All right, let's get a quick check of your forecast. Greg has left us a few notes to go over with you while he works on other very important parts of your forecast that involve snow. So here are the 3 things you'll want to know. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today. Severe weather is not likely, so I don't want you to be concerned about anything threatening, just kind of your garden variety thunderstorm possibility for today. But then here's the kicker. We're looking at snow going into tonight. So Greg will join us here in just a few minutes to give us a complete rundown of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24 near Bell Road. That is where the traffic is starting to gather. We're seeing some minor congestion here and there, but we're not quite at the stop and go mark yet. Just traffic starting to slow down. Places like Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway out there. This is one of the newer TDOT cameras I'm showing off up here that they've installed recently. But traffic is still moving out there near Bell Road. So we're going to give you the latest drive time coming in from Murfreesboro. It's starting to slow down. We're going to give you the latest coming up in a few.
And more headlines, including the 2 teenagers shot and killed in a middle school parking lot in Nashville. A new arrest just made. We'll get you updated in minutes.
And
weather at.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, it was a murder case that rocked East Nashville. Today marks the next step in what may hopefully be closure.
And right now we have a live look into the heart of downtown Nashville. 6:31 is your time. A little hazy, a little rainy to start the morning, and so many things approaching in the forecast to start your Monday. We'll go over all of it with you here new this half hour in moments. Thanks for joining us. Here's Justin.
I-40 White Bridge Road, disabled vehicle over there on the shoulder. We're going to tell you about some other areas of town coming up in a few.
Glad to be here for you to kick off your 6:30 half hour. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started this Monday morning with a breaking news update for a story we shared last week. A teenager now arrested in connection with the Meigs Middle School shooting in Nashville.
Yeah, we had 2 teenagers die in the parking lot of that school. Here's Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar with this breaking news update.
As a recap, police say behind Meigs Middle Magnet School, suspects walked to this parking lot, shooting and killing 2 teens last week. They say one of the teens died right here and the other was taken to the hospital and later died. Police arrested Brown last night at his place. They believe he is the second shooter responsible for the crime. The second person charged with double homicide is 18-year-old Rico Doss. Police arrested the teenager at his apartment on Friday morning. The victims shot and killed are identified as 17-year-old Jalen McAdams and 16-year-old Takeo Bills. Bill's family has a GoFundMe page for him, and they are raising money for his funeral and other expenses. We are working to talk to his family and also the other victim's family. In the meantime, police are investigating if drugs were a motive in the shooting. When we have those updates, we'll bring them to you. Reporting in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Now, in more positive headlines this Monday morning in our community, we have two young heroes from a Clarksville Cub Scout troop that are getting top honors.
Christopher and William Schroeder were awarded the Medal of Merit for their courage and quick thinking in saving their grandfather's life. Now listen, the boy's grandfather went into cardiac arrest, and the boys, they did not hesitate from performing CPR, saving their grandfather using those life-saving techniques. They learned all of that by being in the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, by the way, William also selected as the Middle Tennessee Council Cub Scout of the Year. So congratulations to these two young men, and thank you for everything that you've done. And I was telling Erica this morning, you know, we've got that Hometown Hero segment right here on Fox 17 News this morning, where we find and award local hometown heroes. These are the kinds of stories that we're talking about, just highlighting the good and the positive in our community. So if you have someone who you think would be a great candidate for a Hometown Hero Award, all you have to do is either go to our website, fox17.com, or poncelaw.com/hometownhero.
We're going to check in now for that Code Red weather update because Monday is looking like a doozy.
The sun's not even up yet. It really is. I mean, things have changed drastically since you went to bed. I've been monitoring the situation since around 2 o'clock this morning, and I got my latest update in. When you see us here go live and local from 7 to 9 when everybody else is pre-recorded, we're going to be putting the red lights on for Code Red for showers, storms, and an increased chance for snow tonight. A lot of pieces here of the puzzle that have kind of changed and flip-flopped a little bit since you went to bed. Let's start breaking it down. We'll finally be dry tomorrow, but not today. Right now, foggy and misty. Later this morning into the afternoon, some showers, heavy downpours, and even a couple rumbles of thunder. And then after dinner time, before we even get to midnight, there will be some snow coming down for many of us here that could stick in some locations. This morning, wet roadways, right side of your screen, we're in the 40s and 50s, so we're warm for right now. A high of 61 degrees later on this afternoon, but then everything else starts to change and that cold air starts to rush in. We'll take a look at all of those changes since you went to bed coming up in 5 minutes. The next look at your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look, if we can, here on This is going to be Briley. This is going to be Briley Parkway, very close to County Hospital Road and Centennial Boulevard. You can see a couple of cars right over here involved in this particular crash, holding things up. Let me show you something very important about this particular crash. You can see where it's tying things up right here. This is County Hospital Road right down here, Centennial Boulevard right down here. How do you steer clear, Justin? You don't. Why don't you steer clear? This is the Cumberland River. There's only so many ways to get across it, and Briley Parkway is the only way in this area to get across it, so I cannot give you a detour. You just want to give yourself extra time to navigate the traffic, getting it across the Cumberland there in West Nashville.
Happening today, the trial begins for one of the suspects charged in the killing of two men outside of a Cobra bar. This was back in 2018.
The Cobra Bar is in East Nashville, and when this happened, it absolutely rocked that community. DeMontre Logsden and one other man, both connected to the killing of Jamie Sarantonio and Bartley Teal right outside of that East Nashville bar. We're told the victims had been celebrating Teal's birthday. We had another suspect found guilty last June, sentenced to life in prison without parole. The third person connected to this case faces lesser charges related to the double murder. So as the trial begins today for, again, DeMontre Logsden connected to the killing of both of those people at the Cobra Bar, will be there. We'll be bringing you updates from the courtroom, both on air and online at fox17.com.
Also ahead here on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, the Secretary of Defense back in the hospital, this time after being criticized for how he handled the last health scare. So we're going to follow this story.
And I know many of you celebrate Valentine's Day. You might be looking for some last minute things to purchase. Well, as it rolls around here, a word of warning: online scammers are pretending to be online partners. So if you're out there looking for love, we'll have that warning.
And coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, today is the final call for tornado relief applications. Our Fox 17 News is Karen Aguilar.
My initial offer 10x'd to what my settlement actually was. It is so easy.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Good morning. Welcome back. Time right now is 6:40. Waking up here on a Monday morning. A little misty, a little bit foggy. You're probably thinking, okay, what is the brand new story that takes me through the rest of my week? When it comes to weather, it's changed since you went to bed. Snow, we've always known a few flurries tonight were possible. Now, snow showers that could actually stick to some surfaces overnight, and that includes areas north of I-40, the Cumberland Plateau, and portions of southern Kentucky. Colder air moves in much more quickly for us. If things hold how they are right now, the impact could be a few slick spots and a light coating of some snow on grassy surfaces and on areas, especially in the higher elevations where it gets colder much quicker. As far as future track goes, that's not a morning event, not an afternoon event. Right now, right side of your screen, we're in the 50s. A few light rain showers begin to track through after 8, 9 o'clock this morning. The bulk of our real rain that we worry about when it comes to heavier downpours, that will move into the area after we get past, say, 10, 11 o'clock and take us into the afternoon. That is just the first batch of what we're going to see. The second will be snowflakes that we'll track for you in 5 minutes.
Circular traffic this morning. Let's take a quick look here at the scene at Briley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard. This is over on the west side of town. As you can see, traffic is getting by, but only one lane is open. This is because of that crash involving a few cars there. The best way to, listen, they're getting ready to stop all the traffic here. Looks like they're trying to rearrange some of the vehicles over there in that area. So heads up, quick look at the map, and yeah, it's pretty ugly. The best way to steer clear, there is none. You want to give yourself extra time. If you know you got to take this lane of traffic here between County Hospital Road and Centennial Boulevard.
6:41 right now. We have a bit of a breaking news update to a story that we first brought you in our 5 o'clock hour. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is back in the hospital, but new in just the last few minutes. Instead of retaining his duties, we have just learned that while he is at Walter Reed, in there for some kind of a bladder issue after a cancer diagnosis, the Pentagon now says, again just minutes ago, that Lloyd Austin has transferred his authorities to his deputy.
Now, Austin underwent surgery for prostate cancer back in December. He was later treated for an infection related to that procedure. The Secretary of Defense came under a lot of criticism for not informing the White House about his prostate cancer while undergoing treatment until after he was in the hospital.
So I was just reading an update from Fox News that he is in the critical care unit at Walter Reed. We're going to monitor that development live through 9 a.m. And as we get any new information, we'll, of course, bring that to you.
Well, Valentine's Day is just a few days away, and there are many who are online, of course, looking for someone to cuddle with, but there are also some people out there looking to scam those looking for some romance.
So the red flags here and the warnings, especially when it comes to online websites. Experts say there are some key approaches that scammers are using these days when they're looking for their next target. So if you find somebody online who maybe seems like they're going the extra mile to gain your trust, or another red flag, if they're asking for money, or if they're asking you to send them compromising photos. Those all seem like obvious red flags, but you know, sometimes people get lost in the moment. So if you are online, experts say make sure that you have video calls, right? That way you can see the person face to face, maybe make some better judgments there. Ask questions about what the person does. Listen, there are a lot of people who are in this online dating scene who do background searches.
Absolutely.
You get the first, middle, and last name and pop in a quick background search.
You never know what you might find and can save you from a whole lot of pain and heartache later on. Well, coming up, Queen Bee announcing a brand new music venture during the Super Bowl, and it's inspired by country music. We're going to tell you what you need to know about the new songs.
And if you didn't even care about the Super Bowl, football's not your thing, how about puppies? This was
needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. 6:46, let's talk Super Bowl, love it or hate it. Okay, it was a huge night, a nail biter of a game toward the end. And then it brought us new music announcements.
Okay, so the artists announcing a new music includes Beyonce. And this one is going to be unique, she says, because she's going to go back to some more country music. Give it a try. She did it once in 2016, Daddy Issues, and now again.
All right, so 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em. The two title tracks right here that she's saying is coming in Act 2 on March 29th. It'll be on streaming platforms. So she's announcing country. If you saw Post Malone last night.
His attempt to do country.
You noticed he tried to go a little country. What'd you think about it? So much last night wrapped up in that game. We're talking about it online. We'd love to hear your comments on Facebook and Twitter, where we've got some questions and polls going right now. And looking ahead to tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, a 32-year-old case that some fear investigators got wrong.
Gary Sutton is sitting on death row waiting for execution. Now, 3 new witnesses and a disgraced medical examiner are casting doubt on his guilt.
Gary deserves his life back. He's probably going to be mad that it took me 30 years to do it.
Our continuing coverage of new evidence that supporters say deserves another look. This story, do not miss it, is tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
All right, in a world where technology is everywhere, and we talk almost daily about the concerns over artificial intelligence, do you ever feel worried about our kids, right? And like what kind of world they're going to grow up in when it comes to technology? Well, if you do feel that way, you are not alone. But rest assured, there are some schools right now that are returning to a more hands-on approach to learning. And Fox News' Christina Coleman takes a look at why something like cursive handwriting lessons are now all the rage.
We may be in the digital age where texting and typing reign supreme. But it's not stopping cursive from making a comeback with the younger generations, as a growing number of school districts across the country are stressing the importance of this old-fashioned skill.
A lot of my students will say, oh, it's too hard to write in cursive. And so we tell them, well, it's going to make you smarter. It's going to make some connections in your brain, and it's going to help you move to the next level. And then they get excited.
California recently became the latest state to require cursive handwriting lessons for elementary school students.
The hope of the legislation is that by the time students leave 6th grade, they would be able to read and write it.
Besides helping to improve fine motor skills, academic experts say teaching cursive to young kids can enhance their cognitive development.
You're using different neural networks when you're doing cursive rather than printing, and so it's creating those pathways in your brain. It also helps, I would say, with the retention of information, how letters are formed.
I love it.
Why?
Because I just feel like it's this fancier how to write, and it's just like fun to learn, like new letters.
And because many historical documents have been written in cursive, supporters say being able to read them can also help students learn about the past, so they can help create a better future. In Los Angeles, I'm Christina Coleman, Fox News.
That is so interesting.
Eric and I have decided that we could have an entire 30-minute segment dedicated to nothing but that topic.
Absolutely.
All right, in our community now, the Puppy Bowl in Music City, all the rage, especially for folks who didn't care anything about that football game. A huge turnout here in Nashville. Check this out.
Yeah, the Nashville Zoo hosting this matchup, a paw-assisted kickoff, as Team Claws and then Team Paws faced off on the field. Now, none of these puppies know the rules, but they're pretty doggone good at being cute.
Sure they are.
See what I did there? Maybe that one is trying to tackle. The good news is all these puppies,
right,
they were adopted.
Yes, so we know that the Nashville Zoo teamed up with the Nashville Humane Association for this precious effort to try to get the dogs adopted, and they all did, so that's the great news, and they have so many others that need a good home. So if you are looking for a new fur baby in your family, check out your local shelter. There is just great opportunities abound to give one of these babies a good home.
We're going to check in now for your forecast, because you're going to want your umbrella, then you're going to want to be mindful of snow, and then what else? I mean, you got it all.
A little bit of everything. We had some fog this morning. We have some rain coming down later today. We have some thunderstorms that are possible. Winter weather advisories for tonight, and that's all before midnight. So, yeah, we're going to do it. You're going to see when you stay with us from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Our set's going to look different. We're going to go into code red mode. All the new things here. This is one of them. This was not on the map when you went to bed last night. Winter weather advisories. So we'll track you through the incoming showers and storms, who could see the strongest rain, and then also talk about snow. And it's not just for the folks shaded in purple there. Nashville, you could be seeing flakes flying. Stick with me.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
An up-close view of ice shoves along the eastern side of Wisconsin's Lake Winnebago. Ice shoves happen when chunks of ice are literally shoved on shore. Temperature changes, currents, and strong winds contribute to their formation. They're fascinating to see, but can be destructive when there's enough ice piling up and moving forward, even smashing property in slow motion.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Okay, all stop on Briley Parkway, very close to Centennial Boulevard over on the west side. You can see traffic moving there. Again, this is just after a really rough accident. You can see the fire department now leaving the scene. Ambulance still there. This is over on the west side of town. Let me show it to you on the map here. It's causing a bit of a backup here right between County Hospital Road and Centennial Boulevard. You cannot steer clear of this because of the Cumberland River right in the middle. Give yourself 10 to 15 extra minutes to cross that bridge.
Justin, thank you. 6:53 and a mystery at an aquarium. What you're looking at right here is the ultrasound. That tiny little bean is a baby stingray. So how did the mama stingray get pregnant with no other stingrays around? We'll dive into that mystery in minutes.
And coming up this morning on Fox 17 News at 7, a scarily believable.
We've had people come in our home and say, wow, this is really beautiful. Where'd you have it done? Empire.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just a few minutes before 7 o'clock, a big win for the Preds over the weekend. We got a live look at Bridgestone Arena right now, home of our Nashville Predators. We'll let you know when they're going to hit the ice next, but just know they're off to a great start here in the second half of the season after the All-Star break.
6:56 your time right now, getting our way into the 7 o'clock half hour, and things have changed since you went to bed. This was on the map yesterday. When you went to sleep, we already knew that we were in a Category 1 for severe weather, the lowest tier of categories here for any potential severe weather, just in our southeasternmost counties. Severe weather is not highly likely, but some wind and small-sized hail cannot be ruled out late morning through about dinner time. That's not new. What's new is the winter weather that comes in after that and the scope at which it's going to pick up. And that's a brand new update we're going to bring you as we get to 7 o'clock in just a few minutes. Here's what I mean. Severe threats barely on the scale for us. So we're going to focus on the rain, the timing, how much will come down, and thunderstorm potential for all of us before we begin to tackle the winter weather advisory. Here's the rest of your morning. If you got to get up and get moving, just know that rain will pick up throughout the morning hours. Here's 9 a.m. through 11 o'clock, and then really get us into the afternoon. Broken lines of showers and thunderstorms that will give us some decent rainfall. In 3 minutes from right now, we're going to continue Future Track and get you out the door and know when those first snowflakes could start flying tonight and how much could potentially stick.
Greg, thank you. 6:57 is the time. We are monitoring this issue. This is Briley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard. You can see a lot of flashing lights, a big crash there. That truck there, not in good shape.
No, in fact, we've seen at least 3 cars involved, and they're all smashed up. Briley Parkway at an all-stop right now. I just want to give you a little bit of perspective. Justin has been following this for you for quite some time in steer clear traffic. It is going to continue to be an issue going into our 7 o'clock hour. So if you typically take Briley Parkway, coming down near County Hospital Road, especially if you're north of Nashville and you're trying to get down to I-40, this is going to be a big concern. We would advise not getting on Briley Parkway. Justin's going to get you the best detours coming up in about 2 minutes. Right now, I want to get into the story that we told you about just a moment ago, and that is the great mystery at one aquarium where mama stingray is pregnant, but workers at the aquarium say they can't quite figure out how this happened.
So researchers say the stingray named Charlotte is expecting, which is puzzling. We'll tell you why. The Aquarium and Outreach Center, they do not have any male stingrays. So at first the team thought maybe she had cancer, but after running some more tests, they found out, she's pregnant.
All right, so they think there are a couple of ways that this happened. One would be a rare process where a female stingray could essentially reproduce on her own, but it's like a clone of the mom. The other option would be, and this is where things get a little interesting, apparently there was a small shark that was in the aquarium with the mama stingray. Is it possible that the shark and the stingray now have offspring? What would that look like?
I like how you say things get interesting. Just keep it that way.
I can't wait to get the update from here, and as soon as we learn more, we'll tell you. This could be a fun little, science story for the kids.
Little follow-up story. We'll see what happens. We're also talking about music. This year's 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have officially been announced. We're talking about Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Cher, Lenny Kravitz, and then the late Sinead O'Connor. So those are just a few of the icons making the list.
Yeah, Sinead O'Connor passing away not too long ago. And by the way, this is all of their first times being nominated. Interestingly enough, Ozzy Osbourne is also on the list, but this time as a solo artist. He's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath. More than 1,000 artists, historians, music industry professionals will be voting on the nominees, and then you as a fan can vote as well. You can do that online, or you can go in person to the museum. Your votes will be tallied in with the rest of them to give the final winner announcements. The class of 24 will be announced at the end of April.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. We are waking up. We literally just did it. The red lights are on here. Fox 17 Code Red weather alert for potential thunderstorms today and an increased chance for snow overnight tonight. The latest things in the Weather Center coming up in the forecast.
And Fox 17 News This Morning getting updates in a breaking news story after we have someone who has now been arrested connected to the death of 2 teenagers in a Nashville middle school parking lot.
Today is the last day for homeowners to apply for FEMA assistance. I'll have why that's important coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us down to Briley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard. We are making progress, but still seeing huge slowdowns. We're going to take you there.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a busy morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here for you as your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we want to begin right now with a brand new Code Red weather alert. We're talking about the possibility of thunderstorms and snow now in the same 24-hour span. For the latest updates, we've got Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus on standby.
Yes, good morning. A lot of changes happened overnight. So if you're just waking up, you went to bed last night and you're going, why are there red lights on? We didn't have any indications of any significant weather. Well, this is not necessarily going to be dangerous weather, but this is going to be extremely inconvenient, and it could catch you off guard if you don't know what's coming your way. So what is new this morning? Scattered storms going to move in late morning into the afternoon. We all have the chance for showers and storms. Our southeastern counties could see 1 or 2 stronger storms, and we'll look at those on future track. Low end severe threat, and I mean the lowest end it could be. I'm not so concerned about severe weather, but a lot of rainfall during the afternoon drive going to be there, and then increasing snow chances into tonight. We've known for about a week that some flurries were possible overnight tonight. Now we're going to snow showers that actually could give us some snow accumulation before midnight. And it's elevated to the point to where portions of southern Kentucky are now under a winter weather advisory from noon until midnight. We're going to hit near 60 degrees this afternoon and be cold enough for snow by 7 o'clock tonight. A lot coming your way in your full forecast, which is your 7-day and that brand new update to future track and all the reasons why we have to be in a Code Red alert just to be cautious and know what's coming our way.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to Briley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard. Should make that drive out and about there. We can see crews are working very hard to try and get this crash cleared up out there in that area. This was a 2-car crash here that it was really rolling things up here in the West Nashville area. Now that they've gotten the traffic up and going here, it looks like they were just letting go of the backup traffic. So they're going to stop all the traffic here again just to try and clear up some of the fuel and oil and debris here in the road. Let's show you where it is here on the map. It's an ugly mess all the way across Briley Parkway from one end of the road to the other. How do you steer clear? Well, to be honest, you really don't. And the reason behind that is because of the Cumberland here. The Cumberland, there's only so many ways to get across it. So you got to use this pretty much in order to get across there. So you got to give yourself extra time, 20, 30 minutes if you need to. If you know you got to use this stretch of road between County Hospital Road and Centennial, leave the sooner the better.
In Operation Crime and Justice, we have an update to the Thursday night shooting over at Meg's Magnet School. We now know a second suspect for the shooting is behind bars. Metro Police say 17-year-old Ashton Brown was arrested just last night. The first suspect, though, 18-year-old Rico Doss, he was arrested Friday. Metro Police say Brown and Doss shot and killed 16-year-old Takeo Bills and 17-year-old Jalen McAdams during a botched drug deal. Both are now charged with criminal homicide.
Right now at 7:04, we have an update to a breaking news story that we first brought you Friday. The Tennessee deputy shot and killed in the line of duty. We now know when the funeral will happen in Blount County. This is in East Tennessee. The funeral now set for this Wednesday. Greg McCowan and Shelby Eggers both tried to pull over Kenneth DeHart Thursday night in Maryville. That's again in East Tennessee. Police say Kenneth DeHart did not cooperate and shot at both of those deputies, killing McGowan. The TBI issued a blue alert for DeHart. We do understand, new from over the weekend, his brother and sister have both been arrested for their connection to all of this, but DeHart is still out there somewhere. We also, new this morning, now have a $100,000 reward for any information that leads to DeHart's arrest.
The last day to apply for help from FEMA after the December tornadoes is today. So we're trying to bring you up to speed. Make sure you have this information handy.
Sure. So many folks here with so much damage. And in the event that you haven't had the chance yet to make sure you get the benefits that would be helpful, Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to tell you how to do that.
Well, first I want to show you why it's so important that these homeowners get the help, because there is still a great financial need, especially here in Madison where I'm standing, one of the hardest hit areas from the tornadoes. It's been more than 2 months since the tornadoes ripped through here, and you can still see the damage on the homes, roofs blown apart, windows shattered. And these are just 3 homes in this street alone. There are dozens and dozens of homes that are needing to be repaired, and not to mention people are still displaced, and that's where FEMA comes in to help. They give out loans, and they also are offering people temporary shelter. Now, if you don't have insurance to cover all of these things, again, that is where FEMA steps in. So one of the things that you can do for more information is you can go to disasterassistance.gov, or you can download the FEMA app to find out more on how you can apply. Now, I myself will have those details coming up for you in the next half hour. Reporting live in Madison, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, Karen, thank you. Coming up, the city of Nashville spending more than $1 million trying to transform Brookmead Park.
Yeah, this was a homeless encampment for years that plagued West Nashville, but park leaders are now warning that some of your suggestions on what to do with the park might not be feasible. Justin McFarland will explain in minutes.
And Fox 17
off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:09 is the time. It's going to take another year before Brookmead Park in West Nashville is ready to reopen to the public. The city of Nashville is spending $1.2 million to try to bring that park back to life. Now, the new Brookmead Park is laying out some new features. At least that's what the public wants. They want places for kayaking and places for disc golf and places for picnics. They want more than just a greenway walking trail, which is sort of what the old Brookmead Park was. But park leaders say the Brookmead Park is in a floodplain, and a lot of what the public wants simply isn't feasible.
About 70% of it is in a floodway or flood zone, which does, I mean, I know a little of this being in the real estate business, it does, I've had some projects kind of waylaid from those sort of things, but it does preclude you from doing certain things. You know, you could probably play, you know, disc golf in it, but you can't put like you said, a pavilion or something along those lines. I don't know that the public is aware of how limiting that is to what we can do.
But the public is becoming more aware thanks to news reports like this one. Brookby Park closed back in January of 2023. At one point, up to 75 people lived inside of the park.
7:10 our time, and yeah, that sound and that screen right there saying Code Red Alert means that we have changed the ball game a little bit overnight into this morning. Now, we have a little bit more of a threat, I wouldn't say threat, but a bigger area of geography that is now under a Category 1 for any potential severe weather later today. This is brand new as of 7 minutes ago. This just came out here. It is still our southeastern tier of counties, but wind and hail cannot be ruled out late morning into right around dinner time. All of us have a chance for a few showers and potentially even a thunderstorm. 8 o'clock, still relatively dry. 9 to 10 o'clock, a few pockets of rain begin to pick up. And then by 11, 12, and 1 o'clock, there we go. We're getting some more substantial rain. Could have some heavy downpours. And thunder or lightning is possible everywhere, but the best chance to possibly see 1 or 2 stronger storms still pivots well to the south of the Nashville area. Overnight tonight, this is the other big change. A lot of colder air moves in very quickly. We have the chance to bring down some snowfall here. A dusting to an inch could fall. It won't all stick, but this is going to happen here right after we just had some thunderstorms. So we're code red for the storms first and the snow potential impact second that we'll continue to talk about here in a few minutes. Justin?
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a good look here at what we're dealing with at Bradley Parkway, very close to Centennial Boulevard. Okay, they're working to get all these cars crashed up together, cleared out of the way, and hopefully make that scene over in West Nashville a little bit more passable for those people here between County Hospital Road and Centennial Boulevard. It's been a mess the last hour or so. Here are your drive times out there right now. Mount Juliet into downtown at 33 minutes. Murfreesboro in at 67 minutes. Hendersonville 31 minutes down from Sumner County. Well, coming up, the death of a baby at an unlicensed daycare. We're going to hear from the caregiver and the latest on that investigation. Plus, Fox 17 News has gone code red for our weather alert. You can see the fog has settled in across parts of
New Honda today. Get more for your trade and payments from $249 a month. Honda inventory is here. Trade now for payments from $249 a month. Search your local Honda dealer today.
7:14 your time, and a lot of new developments here in the last just 2 hours in the weather department. Now, this is the first one that popped up overnight, which we were not expecting a lot of snow to come down later today, and I did not mix words there. Snow late today is possible. We knew there'd be a few flurries after sunset. Now, there could be enough snow that actually sticks. A dusting to an inch of snow in areas north of I-40 and out toward the Cumberland Plateau cannot be ruled out between around 6 o'clock tonight and 11 o'clock tonight. That's why a winter weather advisory is in effect for a portion of southern Kentucky here from noon until midnight tonight. We've got to get through a lot of rain before we even start talking about snowflakes, though. This morning has been foggy. It has been misty. It's also been warm. Temperatures in the 50s right now. No big things happening at the moment. However, we're going to continue to update you with things. I would say late morning into the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms possible. 1 or 2 stronger storms well to the south and east, and then well to the north and west. The first snowflakes start to fall. As far as your weekend goes, none of that, but a little bit cooler. We'll only be up to 47 degrees for your Saturday and 51 on Sunday. So the big story is everything happening today, and every hour going to be a little bit different than the one before it. 61 is your high, but we dropped temperature enough and quickly enough to where we could see some snowflakes that are flying here before we even get to midnight. 34 overnight, and then 54 tomorrow. Once we're done with today, we dry out, we keep things in the 50s and low 60s for the rest of the entire work week.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a good look here at Bradley Parkway at Centennial Boulevard. All right. We're trying to get these crashed up cars out of the way because they're causing huge backups over in West Nashville, here along Bradley Parkway at Centennial Boulevard, here along County Hospital Road. There goes one out of the way, and now they're waiting on another one to get out of the way here, hopefully. Let me show you what it's doing to the traffic back behind it. Ouch. These folks are going to be late no matter where they're going here. You're going to be late. So heads up if you're using that area of town. Give yourself another 20 minutes or so between County Hospital Road and Centennial Boulevard. I would love to give you a detour. There's this thing called the Cumberland River right up here. There's no getting across it other than using Bradley at this point, so please keep that in mind.
7:17 is the time when we do have continuing coverage of a very tough story to share with you. But the death of a baby that died in an unlicensed daycare in South Nashville is a headline maker.
Fox 17 News reporter Kelly Avellino spoke with the woman who was watching that child.
Metro Police investigating 10 children being watched in a single bedroom apartment off Welshwood Drive, all under the age of 3 years old. The 33-year-old woman in charge doesn't speak English, but did agree to speak to me through a family member. Now, we're not releasing her name since police say there are no charges at this point. The woman, who is not licensed, says she put the 6-month-old girl down for a nap in a baby chair Thursday afternoon. She says when she checked on the child, the infant wouldn't wake up. The woman says she tried unsuccessfully to revive the baby. The child's mother arrived just moments later and called 911. Emergency crews rushing the child to the Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, where she was pronounced dead. Police say there were no signs of trauma, but an autopsy will have to reveal the official cause of death.
Nearly half of all the children in Tennessee live in what is known as a child care desert.
That's according to Cindy Lenhoff, director of the National Child Care Association. She says finding affordable child care in Tennessee is a significant challenge thanks to a shortage of skilled caretakers post-COVID and expensive labor costs. Now, this can lead some parents to use unlicensed caretakers who are not regulated or tracked. If the woman in this situation had been licensed, she would have needed at least 2 adults to care for 10 children under the age of 3.
Parents and providers both are at the end of their economic rope.
The woman charged just $25 a day per child, according to police. Now, whatever your situation, experts like Heather Hicks with the Tennessee Child Care Resource and Referral Network urge parents to ask the tough questions.
Such as, what is your supervision like? How will my child be sleeping? Will somebody be checking on my child while they're sleeping? What is your policy on parents dropping in?
Well, the woman says she has stopped watching other people's children, mainly the children of her friends, for right now.
The baby girl who died is from Honduras, the youngest of 3 siblings. Metro Police now referring this child care operation case to the Department of Children's Services.
And we also want to know what you think. Do you think finding safe and affordable daycare in Middle Tennessee is an issue? I know we've talked about this extensively here on the Fox 17 News. As of right now, 86% of you all say, yeah, it's a big issue. There's still time for you to go ahead and sound off on this particular poll by heading to our X account. It's Fox Nashville. Again, that is on our X social media platform.
7:20 is the time right now. Operation Crime and Justice. 4 people die in a crash over the weekend. The picture's horrific. We're going to get you the latest on this investigation.
And we're also talking about football. One 49ers player making Super Bowl history. And guess what? Did you know this? He's from the Mid-State. We're going to watch his shining moments from the big Super Bowl game. Plus, Fox 17 News continuing our...
Get equipment for every workout and free fitness training, all in the judgment-free zone. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th.
7:23. Good morning here on a Monday, and we are in a Fox 17 Code Red weather alert. Some big changes overnight to the forecast in 2 different ways. One is this. Now, we knew we were going to have a couple of flurries tonight, but now we've gone to flat-out snow showers are possible. Not a lot going to stick because of how warm our temperatures have been and how warm the actual paved surfaces are. But we're talking about grassy areas and other areas that aren't actual pavement. Could see a dusting to an inch north of I-40. And also in the Cumberland Plateau. It's possible. It's not necessarily for everyone in terms of those totals, but snowflakes definitely are in the cards now for us after we go through showers and potential thunderstorms today. This is right now, there's not much happening. We've had some mist, we've had some fog. This is the update. Most of our morning hours look pretty good through at least 9, 10 o'clock. Then 11 a.m. going into 1 p.m., things pick up. Yellow to orange means pretty decent, steady rainfall. Even a couple of thunderstorms can't be ruled out. And then we continue throughout all of the daytime hours. Here's 7 p.m. Cold air starts to wrap in from the north, and now we have blue and a little winter mix. And look at how far south this could go. This then shifts to the east. Clips part of Nashville as well. The dark blue means those really heavy, wet snowflakes that could give us some slick spots, and they also could give us some minor accumulations. Again, dusting to an inch, but after you just had thunderstorms during the day, that could catch a lot of us off guard. So please be mindful of that. That will all happen when the sun goes down later on today.
Steer clear traffic, still watching that crash on Riley Parkway near Centennial Boulevard. This is over on the west side of town. As you can see, traffic is moving. However, we are dealing with looks like some type of new situation. We got a small crowd gathering around there. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking at or dealing with there, but it's right there at the overpass. Again, this is Riley Parkway near Centennial over on the west side of town, still causing some backups back behind it. Let's switch to another side of town. This is going to be 24 near Hickory Hollow Parkway, making that drive in. By the way, that mess over on west side, you gotta give yourself extra time. I can't give you a solid, reliable detour because of the Cumberland River. There's not a lot of different ways to get past it. We'll continue to watch it there for you.
We're also following breaking news this morning. We now know Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has transferred his service. Okay, so we're learning more after hearing that Walter Reed National Military Medical, they went ahead and shared some more updates, letting us know that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is receiving treatment for, quote, symptoms suggesting an emergent bladder issue. The hospital saying the bladder issue is not expected to go ahead and impact Austin's full recovery when he was dealing with his recent prostate cancer. We're going to continue sharing some more updates about this big news on Fox 17 News throughout 9 a.m.
And at 7:26 right now in Operation Crime and Justice, 4 people have died after a crash that happened just yesterday morning on Bell Road, right before folks would be getting up to go to church. Yeah. Investigators say what's left of that silver Camaro here on your screen, that Camaro hit a Toyota SUV head on, and all 4 people in the Camaro died.
Yeah, that includes a 20-year-old named Alonzo Alfonso. Police have not identified the other people in that car. The driver of the SUV is expected to be okay. Fox 17 News is working to get the toxicology reports and the results in from that Camaro driver.
Switching gears this morning, there have been a lot of headlines coming out of Super Bowl 58 from last night, including our local star, Jawan Jennings, who played at Blackman High School in Murfreesboro and later went on to play for the University of Tennessee. Jawan Jennings, a receiver for the 49ers, and definitely getting his moment in the spotlight overnight.
During the first half of the game, it was the 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy who threw the ball to Jennings, who did through some throwing of his own. Back across the field to Christian McCaffrey, who took off into the end zone for the touchdown. 10-0 49ers at that point. By the way, Jennings was a quarterback at Blackman High School, so that's something he knew about well. These days, he's a professional receiver, which is what he did here. Caught a touchdown pass from Brock Purdy, forced his way into the end zone for another touchdown there. He becomes only the second player in the history of the Super Bowl, and they played 58 of these things now, to receive and throw a touchdown pass in the same game. Nick Foles was the other one who did it. Unfortunately for the 49ers, they came up 3 points short in overtime.
And by the way, worth noting, too, that Jawan Jennings took a hit when he threw that pass to McCaffrey.
Yes, he did.
Man, he got leveled, but popped right back up. And Justin, to your point, went on to do more great things. So congratulations to him.
Baby surrender boxes continue to spring up around the country. Safe Haven's initiative to help struggling mothers surrender their babies safely is now in Hopkinsville. We'll tell you more.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
7:30 your time, foggy, misty right now. Fox 17 News operating a code red weather alert for 2 different reasons that'll all happen within 14 hours. Thunderstorms and then snow. Updates in your forecast in just moments.
Steer clear traffic, things getting better on Bradley Parkway near Centennial Boulevard, but there's another slowdown to tell you about. We'll take you there.
And we do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Hope y'all are doing okay. It's the Monday after the Super Bowl. Did you call out sick? Are you working anyways? We've got you covered live through 9 a.m. And listen, one of the big stories that has developed through the course of this morning show has been in the weather department. You'll notice the lights are now red behind us. We're in a code red weather alert.
Yeah, we're going to have a full swing, all the types of weather today.
We are going to get a little bit of everything. Right now, right side of your screen, we're talking 50s. We'll be up to 60 later today. Showers, thunderstorms. A few of us could have the potential for a strong storm or two. And then we have snow showers that move in. This is all going to happen before 10 o'clock tonight. Code red across the board. This is only because of the inconvenience, the non-knowingness of going to bed and having all three of these things change. Severe weather is not highly likely, but it's possible in a few areas, and then the snowflakes could actually end up sticking, and that could go as far south as the Nashville area. Those are the changes you're waking up to. You saw the live look here as we just started this half hour, and you can't see much on a lot of our cameras. There's fog, there are some areas of some mist, wet pavement out there. Grab an umbrella for the morning and the afternoon. Use a little bit of caution. We have a new look at future track, and there's been one getting pumped in here about every half hour or so, so we'll keep getting you those updates. We'll take a look at the hour-by-hour progression of rain to thunderstorms, to potential snow, and who, depending upon where you live, has the best chance of seeing one, two, or all three of those going into tonight.
Steer clear traffic this morning. Let's get you to Riley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard, west side of town. Traffic is moving a little bit better over there. This was a really rough two-car crash a little bit earlier in the morning. TDOT is moving. Yes, they're clearing this accident right before our very eyes. Thankfully, no more big problems over there. There'll still be some slowdowns for a little while longer. Crews down below still dealing with some of that crash down beneath where this crash happened a little bit earlier. But now traffic is going to be resuming a much more normal flow there. Glad to see it. Here we are on the west side, east side of town, Hermitage, I-40 near Central. A couple of disabled vehicles here on the shoulder. Looks like they're waiting for authorities to arrive, maybe to take a report, but nothing in serious danger here. Best way to steer clear, Lebanon Pike perhaps. While we continue to watch that slow down, we'll continue to keep you up to date.
Justin, thanks. The last day to apply for help from FEMA after the December tornadoes is today.
It sure is, and we want to make sure that you have everything you need so that you can recover. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us now to tell us why it's necessary to get that information in today.
Lots of families still need financial help. It's been more than 2 months since the tornadoes tore down homes. An example of a torn down home is right here behind me in Madison. The sheer strength of that tornado ripped off that roof. Now, this isn't the only home in this street that is destroyed. This home to my right has a huge tree laying over what's next to it. If my camera person keeps panning, you can see that the home next to it, the roof has been caved in, pieces of insulation still on top of it. Now, this is where FEMA steps in. Some of the things that you need to apply to get financial help from FEMA if insurance doesn't cover things is as follows: address and zip code, condition of your damaged home, social security number, phone number, and more. For more information, you can head to disasterassistant.gov, or you can also download FEMA on your app. Reporting live in Madison, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live in Hermitage right now at a homeless camp where the cleanup efforts are very much underway, and they got a long way to go. Even still, you can see the dump trucks out there trying to collect all that stuff.
Right, so we can see the dumpster as traffic is going by this area. Now, Fox 17 News has been reporting in the high cost of homelessness. That's a series that you'll only see here on our station. The problems that are associated with these homeless encampments and have been over the years. So this is the newest one that just popped up in Hermitage. And Kevin, if you're listening, I would ask you to zoom in on that sign just above the one that says no trespassing, because that sign is important. It says all occupants must leave the premises by January 31st, 2024. This is one of the newer homeless encampments that was just shut down not even 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the city told us they would be going in the very next week to clean up this homeless encampment. And, well, as you can see this morning through our live look, Kevin, thank you for zooming in on that sign, by the way. If you want to show us the rest of the encampment, that would be great, because what that shows us is that if there have been efforts to go in and clean this place up, We can see the dumpster. It's not complete.
Yes.
So we will be monitoring the story for you. We know that these homeless encampments have impacted your daily routine in a lot of ways. Families have reached out to us saying they don't feel safe with their children in some parts of town. And so we're going to continue to follow this story as it develops here on Fox 17 News.
In your community, Hopkinsville, Kentucky is going to be getting a Safe Haven baby box. Now, those are baby boxes which are anonymous for folks to go ahead and surrender and give them options for mothers in crisis. According to Safe Haven, that's where we get these updates from. During the process, when a person chooses to go ahead and surrender their infant in the baby box, the door locks once it's closed.
And then what happens is there's a silent alarm that will alert people inside that a baby has been surrendered. They take the baby to the hospital for an evaluation. That's the first step. Back in 2023, a record 17 babies were surrendered in this manner. There are 31 Safe Haven boxes in Kentucky.
And Safe Haven recommends that families who want to adopt a Safe Haven baby should go ahead and reach out to their local Department of Family Services to register for foster care with the intention to adopt. We're going to make sure that we get this updates, though, over on fox17.com.
All right, 7:37 right now. A woman hit and killed by a car. We've mapped out the location here for you, Neely Meadows Apartments. We've got the latest on this.
Now up to 50% off. The President's Day sale going on now, only at Ashley.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
7:40 our time. Fox 17 News has gone into a code red weather alert. Let's buckle up for a little bit of everything today. I'm not overly concerned about severe weather, but this is definitely going to be an inconvenient day from almost start to finish. Taking a look, this is one new update since 7 o'clock this morning. You won't catch it anywhere else because everyone else has tape stuff on right now. I'm going to make sure I get you through 9 o'clock with every new little update we have. It's a Monday morning after all. Taking a look, our severe weather outlook is still at a category 1. That's where it was when you went to bed. We've added a few counties in our southeasternmost areas that could see a strong storm or two later on this afternoon. This is a new update as of around 5 o'clock in the morning. A winter weather advisory for our northwest counties. So strong storms down to the south and snow potential to our north and west. A dusting to an inch of snow can't be ruled out. This morning, foggy, cloudy, and a little bit misty. The rain doesn't pick up until the end of the morning hours and then going into the afternoon. That's when the chance for a few thunderstorms could be in the cards. We'll continue future tracking, get you through the rest of today, and talk about that snow in a few moments.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to the very latest happening on I-40 at Central Pike. As you can see, traffic there moving along despite the fact we've got a couple of disabled vehicles there on the shoulder of the road. Best way to steer clear is using Lebanon Pike. That's going to be how you get around some of that traffic out there. We'll continue to keep you up to date. In the meantime, let's go to Operation Crime and Justice as Metro Police are now searching for the driver that fatally hit a woman. It happened on Saturday. This whole thing took place at the Neely Meadow Apartments right here. Happened in Madison. Now, the woman that was hit, her name is Caroline Connor. She was arguing with a male driver along with a female passenger. Now, the white Mercury Sable drove into Connor as she was arguing there at this set of apartments in the parking lot. Unfortunately, she later died. Metro Police do confirm that the Sable is believed to have some damage to its hood and windshield. If you have any information about this crime, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
7:42 right now. Your voice, your vote, and early voting begins Wednesday, runs through February 27th for the March 5th presidential primary. All registered voters can find the hours, the polling locations. You can look at sample ballots at govotn.gov or through our website, fox17.com.
A mid-state woman gets a terrifying phone call. We're going to tell you how scammers operated and what you can do to prepare yourself.
After all, they not only made Black history, they shaped Tennessee's history. The Tennessee Lottery celebrates Black History Month.
7:45 and getting right back into the forecast here. All the moving parts, trying to put them together one by one so we know the entire progression of the story. We know that right now, foggy and misty. By about 8, 9 o'clock, we're going to start turning the corner back into a couple of rain showers, especially by 10 and 11 o'clock. That's when we pick this up. Watch what happens to the coloring and how much we're going to see on radar. Yellows, oranges, and reds. Heavier rain, could even have some thunderstorms that get embedded with this as well. The rain possible for all of us. The best chance for a stronger storm is going to be in our southeastern tier of counties. This is through 2 p.m. 2 o'clock gets us into the hours just after sunset. 7 o'clock, I said pay attention to the colors. Now blue. Blue and purple meaning winter mix and snow. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow, meaning these are going to be those really heavy, wet snowflakes that come down. Most of it's not going to stick, but here's through 10 p.m. Look how far south this could go. A dusting to an inch of snow cannot be ruled out, especially north of I-40 and on the Cumberland Plateau. Now, the places you have to watch out for it, not necessarily on a lot of our main roadways because we've just been so warm, but grassy surfaces, decks, even some sidewalks here that can get colder a little bit faster may have some minor accumulation. Most of what falls at the very beginning will melt on contact, and then we could see a little bit that does stack up before we even hit midnight tonight.
Still clear traffic out there for you. Let's get out to I-40 at Central Pike. Still dealing with the leftovers of a crash here on the shoulder of the road. This one should be clearing relatively quickly, though. It doesn't look like there's any major damage to either car. Metro Police just taking a report here, and maybe all the drivers will get out of here relatively soon. Let's take a look at the overall drive times out here. Clarksville, 65 minutes down from Montgomery County. Nice under an hour in from Murfreesboro this morning. That is wonderful. 39 minutes in from Hendersonville this morning. That is the slowdown. We're going to take a closer look at that drive coming up in a few minutes.
All righty, Justin, thank you. 7:47 is the time right now, and this morning, a frightening scam that is hitting really close to home right here in the mid-state.
Yeah, Murfreesboro police say a scammer is calling residents claiming to have a loved one and making threatening comments. The department says it has happened 5 times within 3 days.
All right, so we're here to make sure you don't fall victim to this kind of scam. Fox 17 News reporter Amanda Chin sitting down with one of the victims who is sharing her story, Amanda, with the hopes of helping others.
Yes, exactly. Good morning, Erica and Jen. A terrifying phone call led to one woman fearing for her sister's life. It's a scam that she feels is believable, especially when someone she loves so much seemed to be in danger. Now, Carol Sandstrom had been running errands in Murfreesboro when she received a call at the Walmart parking lot. She picked up the phone to a screaming voice that sounded like her sister. She says a guy then started talking, saying he had her sister. But when the guy told her there was a small boy with him and started demanding money that she refused to give, she started getting suspicious.
And he goes, well, I guess I have my answer then, and hung up. And at that point, I started doubting. I thought, I've just killed my sister. I read it wrong, and I've just killed her.
Now, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, you'll see what happens next. Plus, she hears her 911 call for the first time and the message and advice she has for folks so this doesn't happen to anyone else. But for now, reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Amanda, thank you so much. Happening today, the trial begins for one of the suspects charged in the killing of 2 men outside the Cobra Bar. This is back in 2018.
Police charged DeMontre Logsden and one other man in the killing of Jamie Sarantonio and Bartley Teal right outside of that East Nashville bar. The victims had been celebrating Teal's birthday. It really shook all of East Nashville when this happened. We know that one of the other suspects in this case was found guilty last June, sentenced to life without parole. The third person involved facing lesser charges related to the double murder. But again, Logsden's trial starts today, and we know a lot of you will be paying very close attention to this case. We'll be there for you. We'll bring you those updates both on air and online at fox17.com.
At 7:49, we want to take our live look from our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey. He is live at the Hermitage Homeless Camp where cleanup efforts are underway. You can see off in the distance right there those huge dumpsters that they are just trying to fill up as much as possible.
Right. So when we first reported on this camp a couple of weeks ago, we had learned that everybody living here would have to be out by January 31st. So the city did come in and get everybody out and rehomed everybody except for one, I do believe. And then the city said they would be coming in to clean this up. Well, here we are a couple weeks later, and it looks like they are doing that, although there is still much work to be done. Just to give you some perspective about where this is, in case you're watching and you're thinking, well, okay, where in Hermitage is this? This is not far from TriStar Summit Medical Center, right there in Hermitage near Old Hickory Boulevard. So monitoring the story here for you with those live updates through 9 a.m.
Looking ahead to tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, a 32-year-old case that some fear investigators got wrong.
This is the story of Gary Sutton that Dennis Ferrier has been following for quite some time now. Sutton sitting on death row, waiting for his execution, but now 3 new witnesses and a disgraced medical examiner are casting doubt on his guilt.
Gary deserves his life back. He's probably going to be mad that it took me 30 years to do it.
Our continuing coverage of new evidence that supporters say deserves another look. This story, don't miss it. It airs tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
7:51 is the time right now, and Operation Crime and Justice. Authorities have now exhumed the body of the wife of a famed Tennessee sheriff more than a half a century after she was killed in a still unsolved murder.
TBI confirming that it oversaw the exhumation of the body of Pauline Husser on Thursday over at Adamsville Cemetery. She was killed by incoming gunfire, while in a car driven by her husband, McNairy County Sheriff Buford Purser, back in 1967.
So Buford captured in the 1973 film Walking Tall, starring Joe Don Baker, and a 2004 remake starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Well, the TBI says they have received a new tip that has led agents to find that there was never an autopsy performed on Pauline's body. The TBI says the investigation into her death remains active.
Well, coming up, 2 Cub Scouts are being praised for their quick thinking that saved the life of their grandfather.
And more sweetness to start your Monday morning. If football wasn't your thing last night, did you happen to see the Music City Puppy Bowl? The top plays and the highlights in minutes.
And we're going to see just about every type of weather condition you can think of today.
Hey, dial now for exclusive same-week VIP appointments. Not a VIP? No worries. Scan the QR code to book your standard chimney service online. Chim Chimney, where your comfort is our priority.
Good morning, just a few minutes before 8 o'clock right now, and a live look into downtown Nashville. Busy as always. You can see work crews are out there. The cranes are up and going. Hey, Bridgestone Arena, top left of your screen. Congrats to the Preds in their first match back after the All-Star break. They get the win. And it was in dramatic fashion, too. So a great start to the second half of the season. We'll let you know how things are shaping up for the Preds going into a new week. All morning, live through 9.
Let's talk about puppies, though, in your community. Yesterday was the Puppy Bowl time in Music City, and the tail wagging turnout, it was pretty intense, because maybe you didn't want to go to the game. Maybe you weren't interested in the Super Bowl. Maybe you did go to the Super Bowl.
Puppies always bring smiles. This was a really cute partnership between the Nashville Zoo and the Humane Association here in Nashville. So they faced off on the field, you could say. This was really just an effort to get these sweet babies adopted, and it worked.
Oh, yes.
So the puppies on both teams, one was Team Paws, the other was Team Claws, and all of them found new homes during this event.
Yeah, so whether or not they can play football, yet to be determined, but again, just encouraging folks to go ahead and adopt. We do have some more information on how you can make that happen on fox17.com.
And an encouraging story this morning from one of our communities. We have 2 young heroes from a Clarksville Cub Scout troop getting top honors.
Oh yeah, so Christopher and William, they were awarded the Medal of Merit for their courage and quick thinking and saving their grandfather's life. Now listen, the boy's grandfather went into cardiac arrest, and the boys, they did not hesitate from performing CPR, saving their grandfather's life using techniques that they learned as Boy Scouts.
All right, so William, by the way, William Schroeder, also selected as the Middle Tennessee Council Cub Scout of the Year. So Christopher and William Schroeder, congratulations and thank you.
A round of applause for sure. We're going to check in now for our Code Red Weather Alert update.
Yes, this is a big update in many different ways this morning compared to when you went to sleep last night. One has to do with possible severe weather. One has to do with snow. And that's all before we get to midnight tonight. Right now, very warm, 50 degrees. You can't see much here when it comes to visibility issues right in the heart of downtown on Lower Broadway, but our elevated cameras, we've had fog and mist pretty much all morning long. Temperatures not moved. We have not gotten cold. We will by tomorrow morning. If you want to get up and moving, though, know that there have been pockets of fog, so watch out for any morning runners who are out there lacing them up before everything gets a little more active later today. We've gone code red because late morning, but especially afternoon into the evening, the chance for some thunderstorms and also some stronger storms in our southeasternmost communities. So I do not want you running outside later today at all, and know that the drive home could be a little bit of a longer one. Snow. That's another big update. We're going to re-rack that for you as soon as we get into our 8 o'clock half hour in just a few moments. Snow, and not just for folks in the plateau like we usually have. If you're in Nashville, you want to stick with me and listen up. You could be seeing some flakes.
All right, everybody, steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-24. This is around the Harding Place and Haywood Lane area. The rain has begun to fall from above, which is causing some wetness out there on the roads, and that is going to cause some people to slow down. Make sure you keep those headlights on. Important note as you make that drive in from places like Murfreesboro and Antioch. We're doing very well out there, but again, we're starting to see that rainfall, and that could cause some problems. We're going to check in on some other areas of town where the rain is not falling yet, like here. I'll tell you more about this coming up in a second.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
If you know someone who is doing great things in your community and you think they're worthy of a Hometown Hero nomination, we would love to hear their stories and share them right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Ponce Law on Fox 17 teaming up to find and award local Hometown Heroes $1,000. And listen, this could be anyone, veteran, teacher, first responder, frontline worker. We have met so many people out there doing some great things.
I'm even thinking about those Cub Scouts from Clarksville who would be great candidates. So if you'd like to nominate your person or your people right now, maybe it's a group of people. You can go to poncelaw.com/hometown hero. Every month we feature a new person right here on Fox 17 News this morning. They win $1,000, and it really has been our joy and our honor to highlight these great folks in our communities for 3 years now.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
You're watching Fox 17 News this morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Red lights are on. Fox 17 News operating in a code red weather alert. Usually it's for one specific reason. This time around, thunderstorms and snow showers all before midnight. I'll track it for you in your forecast.
And new this morning, see the car in this parking lot right here? This is a crime scene where 2 teenagers were killed at a middle school in Nashville. New this morning, another arrest has now been made.
Steer clear traffic takes us to Ellington Parkway near Cleveland Street. Things rolling along, but the rain is starting to fall in some other areas. I'll take you there.
And we also want to start by saying thank you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. And in case you missed it, about an hour ago, our meteorologist Greg Bobus announced that he was going to a code red weather alert because, Greg, you have talked about the possibility of everything from thunderstorms to snow in the next 24 hours.
That all happened before we even get to midnight. And right now we're at 50 degrees. So you think, how do we go from 50 to snow just after sunset? We're going to work you through it. This is the really big update to the forecast from when you went to bed. We knew showers and storms are coming in today. That's not been a mystery for us here for the last 4 or 5 days. However, we thought just flurries. Now we're talking snow showers that could stick. So the 3 things to know waking up this morning: scattered showers and thunderstorms move in late this morning into the afternoon. Severe weather, while not likely, is possible for a few of us in the form of hail or wind. And we'll take a look at the map and who has the best chance for it. Also, snowflakes could stick tonight for some. Now, the folks that possibly have stronger storms likely do not get the snow. So we kind of cut the viewing area in half, and we'll dissect that for you coming up in a few minutes. Just know that once we're done with today, everything dries out nicely. We'll still hit 61 degrees today, but the latest timeline, and again, showers are beginning to start. Radar not showing much right now. We've had pockets of mist and fog that have not really shown up on radar so far. So Justin's been really useful for me, even just seeing his cameras, knowing that we do have a little bit of light rainfall that's been coming down there in a few spots already.
We do. We're going to get to that in just a second. First, I want to tell you about this. This is a disabled vehicle coming down from I-24 right at the I-65 junction north and west of downtown Nashville, not causing a big delay, just something to be aware of right over here. This is a normal congestion spot for people making their drive in from Whites Creek and Jolton, so heads up on that. Now let's get to that rain, and there it is, coming down in places like I-24 near Haywood Lane, coming down and making things wet and slowing things down for you as well. Right now, that drive time still under an hour coming in from Murfreesboro, but the question is, with this rain falling, how long will that really last?
Well, Justin, thank you. 8:02, Operation Crime and Justice right now. We have an update to the Thursday night shooting that happened in the parking lot of Meigs Magnet Middle School in Nashville. We've learned this morning a second person is now arrested in that shooting that killed both of those teenagers.
Metro Police say 17-year-old Ashton Brown was arrested last night. The first suspect, though, 18-year-old Rico Doss, he was arrested Friday. Metro Police say Brown and Doss shot and killed 16-year-old Takeo Bills and 17-year-old Jalen McAdams during a botched drug deal. Both of them are now charged with criminal homicide.
We have an update also right now to a story that we first brought you Friday as breaking news. We now know about the funeral arrangements for the deputy who was shot and killed in Blount County. Those arrangements are set for this Wednesday. And by the way, Blount County, for those of you who might not be familiar, is East Tennessee. That's where Deputy Greg McGowan and Shelby Eggers had tried to pull over Kenneth DeHart in Maryville. Police say that DeHart did not cooperate and shot at the two deputies, killing McGowan. The TBI issued a blue alert Friday for DeHart. That is still active this morning because he's not been found. He's wanted for first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and a weapons charge. It is interesting and worth pointing out, police have arrested his brother and sister in connection to all of this. There's a $100,000 reward now for any information leading to an arrest.
We want to make sure that you know today is the last day to help or to apply for help from FEMA after the December tornado.
Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now to show us why it's important to get that filed today.
That's right, Jen. There is a lot of financial need here, especially in Madison, one of the hardest hit areas. Homes are still destroyed more than 2 months since the tornado hit Middle Tennessee. But it's not just homes, it's also places of worship. Take a look at this church behind me here. There are shards of broken stained glass, walls, brick walls that have been blown away by that devastating tornado. Now, for some perspective, this is a church that hasn't been able to hold Sunday service since early December, which is why getting that financial help is so important for worshipers and homeowners alike. That's where FEMA steps in. Some of the things you need to know to apply to get financial help is simple things. You need to have your address and zip code, condition of the damaged location or building, social security number, phone number, and more. For more information, you can head to disasterassistance.gov or you can simply download the FEMA app for more information. Reporting live in Madison, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. 8:05 is the time, and right now we're taking a live look over Allegiant Stadium. A lot of action there last night over in Vegas, and you know what? The party continues, but it's not going to be a party so much here as in Kansas City.
Yeah, the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last night. So much to kind of go over with the Super Bowl. So if you missed a good portion of it, like we did, you know, we went to bed early. Chiefs win in overtime, which was huge. We had Jawan Jennings, who is from Murfreesboro, played for Blackman High School, who had one heck of a night playing for the 49ers. Taylor Swift did make it to the Super Bowl.
She made it.
They showed her,
multiple times
throughout the show. Usher had the halftime show. Mixed reviews.
Post Malone had the national anthem.
America the Beautiful.
Okay.
And then Reba.
Yes.
With the national anthem.
Correct.
And, in case you missed it, Travis Kelce shoved his coach, Andy Reid, on the sidelines.
A lot of folks are talking about that this morning.
In a fit of rage. So just a lot to try to encompass. And then, of course, we had the commercials.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
Well, we were asking over on our social media pages what you think. We always want to know what was your favorite part of this year's Super Bowl. And you know the big answer is football.
People were watching for the football.
I mean, it was a nail biter. My husband said one of the best games he's seen ever.
It came down to the end, though. I don't know about y'all, but it felt like we got off to kind of a slow start.
Very slow.
And I thought, if you watch the first half, you're thinking, man, the Niners are probably going to run away with this. But Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs had other plans. So this is active right now. We are engaging with you, chatting about it. You can vote. You can leave us a comment. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. It takes you directly to our Fox Nashville Twitter account where you can vote and sound off.
All right, coming up here on Fox 17 News, the city of Nashville is spending more than $1 million to transform Brookmead Park. But park leaders are warning that some of the public's suggestions may not be possible.
Justin McFarland is going to explain in minutes.
Yeah, and we're talking about our Code Red weather alert. Look at this live look. You barely can see the Nashville skyline out there, and you just need to be so aware of the weather conditions
and the remarkable routine of your daily life. 3-day blinds.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan.
8:10 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We are talking about Brookmead Park over in West Nashville. Following up on this story you've been following for a long time now. The city of Nashville says it's going to be another full year before the park is ready to reopen to the public. The city of Nashville is spending $1.2 million to bring that park back to life, and some people want to see some new features. Members of the public have chimed in, and they want to see things like kayaking and places for picnics and more bathrooms there. They want to see more than just a greenway walking trail, which is all that's been there basically. But park leaders say this really isn't an option because the park is in a floodplain. Therefore, they say a lot of what the public wants is simply off the table.
So going forward, the department plans to return the park to its original state and function, which was a greenway with open space. The configuration, location, and topography of the park does not lend itself to some of the amenities seen in other parks in the system.
It seems like if we could find another piece of land that's flatter, out of the flood zone, in that part of town to provide all the recreational things that a lot of people would love to see in the park, that would be great.
So they have promised to at least take a look at that. Brookmead Park did close back in January of 2023. At one point, up to 75 people were living in the park, which is why they had to shut it down.
8:11 is your time. We have gone into a code red weather alert for storms later today and then snow potential going into tonight. And this is what I was talking about 10 minutes ago, that Doppler radar is not picking up any of this early morning activity because it is so light. But we do have mist, we do have fog, even a few light sprinkles have developed over the course of this morning. So just know that it's out there even if the radar doesn't see it. Here's later on today. This is what we have when it comes to severe weather potential. Our southeastern counties shaded in green, category 1. Wind and potential hail cannot be ruled out. We all have a chance for heavy rain and run-of-the-mill general thunderstorms going into the afternoon. Then we have a winter weather advisory for everyone to the north and to the west of Nashville. This includes a good chunk of southern Kentucky. Will they expand this? Likely no, but we're not quite sure yet. We do know that there will be snow that makes its way into middle Tennessee as well. This is the big update overnight. We've expanded a little bit when it comes to our severe weather threat, and we've also added in the chance for some snow that could stick to certain surfaces. We'll talk about that and look at your future track in just a couple minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Quick look here on the north side. This is 65 at Trinity Lane. Typical slow go from that side of town. Also watching the rainfall at 24 near Haywood Lane. We'll continue to keep you up to date. Well, coming up, the death of a baby at an unlicensed daycare. We're going to hear from the caregiver and have the very latest in this investigation. Plus, Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobis will be back.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
Good morning. Taking a look, we are in a code red weather alert for the 1-2 combination of weather ingredients. Here we have the rain, showers and thunderstorms that will track in very quickly once we get ourselves into the afternoon hours especially. And then we have this that was issued overnight. The chance for snow has gone up significantly because this whole system kind of wobbled and moved a little bit as it started tracking closer to us. So colder air gets in here much more quickly. What does this mean overall? Let's take a look. Future track, we are picking up a couple of light rain showers out there. That's pretty much all we have through the course of 9-10 o'clock. After 11, a few showers and storms begin to bubble up a little from our south, pulling toward the north. And then after 12 o'clock, that is when things really do light up on the radar. This is the most likely time for any stronger thunderstorms or even just heavier rainfall. All the yellows and the oranges indicating that here. Again, 2 p.m. Best chance we showed you just a few minutes ago for any stronger storms would be in our southeasternmost counties. So think bottom right-hand corner of the map. That means the more to the north we get, the less likely we are to see anything when it comes to severe weather. But this is what the big change is. Look at how dark the blues and these purples are. We're going to get quick period, of heavier snowfall coming down. Now, what do I mean by heavier snowfall? I mean those very wet flakes, the heavy ones, the ones that when they hit the ground, they can again begin to quickly stack up. Not to a lot, but enough to where you could get some glazed spots over here when it comes to sidewalks, parking lots. Now, a lot of our mainly driven roads should be okay. They should melt pretty quickly, but when all's said and done, by the time we're done with tonight, mainly north of I-40, in through southern Kentucky and out toward the Cumberland Plateau, a dusting of snow, not out of the realm of possibility. A pocket or two of areas could end up seeing close to an inch of snowfall by the time we hit midnight.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a look here at I-24 at Haywood Lane. Making that drive in from the Antioch area this morning. Traffic is moving, but we are dealing with some light rain out there that could cause you some problems coming in from the Smyrna and Laverne area. Right now, we're doing okay. Maybe a minor accident. We haven't been able to find it. We did find a couple of disabled vehicles, but overall, not too bad at all. Here's a look at south of town. This is going to be I-65 at I-840. A disabled vehicle right here. Foggy conditions keep those headlights on, not so you can see, but so other drivers can see you.
Justin, thank you. It is 8:18 right now, and we have continuing coverage this morning from a story over the weekend regarding a baby who died at an unlicensed daycare operating in South Nashville.
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino speaking with the woman who was watching that child.
Metro Police investigating 10 children being watched in a single bedroom apartment off Welshwood Drive, all under the age of 3 years old. The 33-year-old woman in charge doesn't speak English, but did agree to speak to me through a family member. Now, we're not releasing her name since police say there are no charges at this point. The woman, who is not licensed, says she put the 6-month-old girl down for a nap in a baby chair Thursday afternoon. She says when she checked on the child, the infant wouldn't wake up. The woman says she tried unsuccessfully to revive the baby. The child's mother arrived just moments later and called 911. Emergency crews rushing the child to the Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, where she was pronounced dead. Police say there were no signs of trauma, but an autopsy will have to reveal the official cause of death.
Nearly half of all the children in Tennessee live in what is known as a child care desert.
That's according to Cindy Lenhoff, director of the National Child Care Association. She says finding affordable child care in Tennessee is a significant challenge thanks to a shortage of skilled caretakers post-COVID and expensive labor costs. Now, this can lead some parents to use unlicensed caretakers who are not regulated or tracked. If the woman in this situation had been licensed, she would have needed at least 2 adults to care for 10 children under the age of 3.
Parents and providers both are at the end of their economic rope.
The woman charged just $25 a day per child, according to police. Now, whatever your situation, experts like Heather Hicks with the Tennessee Child Care Resource and Referral Network urge parents to ask the tough questions.
Such as, what is your supervision like? How will my child be sleeping? Will somebody be checking on my child while they're sleeping? What is your policy on parents dropping in?
Now, this is not the first time that a baby has died in an at-home daycare in the Nashville area.
In fact, just last year in Bellevue, you might remember our reporting on a baby who died in the care of Annie Clark. She also went by the name of Ann Jordan. Well, she was watching several children at the time in her Bellevue apartment. One of the children that she was watching, just 3 months old, found dead in that apartment. Annie Clark was found in a park nearby where authorities say she tried to take her own life. The last update on this story that we did showed a temporary injunction forbade Annie Clark from conducting any child care services.
Happening next on Fox 17 News, one of the 49ers players making Super Bowl history, and he is from Murfreesboro. We're going to watch his shining moments from the big game.
And in case you're just now waking up and joining us, happy Monday to you and good morning. A bit of a groggy start to this Monday that might match how you're...
I luckily had a friend who's already dealt with Bart Durham that felt that he was very taken care of. And it was the same day that somebody got back to me. Nikki really did pull me through that, made it feel like I wasn't alone.
Good morning, welcome back. Time right now is 8:24, and you just heard it, and you see it right on your screen. Fox 17 News is in a code red weather alert. This is not the typical code red where we pick that one big reason that we go, hey, hyper-focus, laser focus on this one thing. This time around, it's a couple of things that are going to happen throughout the day, and they're going to come in sequence that might catch you off guard. Showers and storms today, we knew it. That's the same. We're going to have them. We all have the chance for some heavy rainfall. Our southeastern counties, though, have a chance. It's very slim that we could get some gusty wind or some hail that could give us some stronger thunderstorms during the afternoon hours. This is the really big change. Flurries were the indicator going to bed last night. Now, snow showers that could put down a dusting to an inch of snow in some spots before midnight. So 60s and storms to snowflakes that could stick, all within about a 12-hour period of each other. Finally drying out starting tomorrow, but that's the big story here and why we are code red. The 1-2 attack of some weather here. First is the thunderstorm activity, and the second will be those snow showers. 7-day forecast does dry us out tomorrow. Every day, 50s if not 60s, so very calm and peaceful after we're done with the next 24 hours.
Stay clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you north and west of town. This is going to be I-24 near Briley Parkway, making that drive down from Jolton and Whites Creek. Got a car off the road there. They got a tow truck in place trying to rectify that situation. In the meantime, things are going to be a bit slow, making that drive down from Jolton, Whites Creek, ultimately Clarksville, places like that. We do have some rain falling down south and east side of town near the Antioch area. We're going to take you there, show you some of those wet streets coming up in just a few.
We're following some breaking news this morning. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is ordering Tesla CEO Elon Musk to testify in a probe of his Twitter takeover. Okay, here's what we're learning about this. The U.S. magistrate judge issuing a formal ruling Saturday for Musk to testify on his $44 billion acquisition of the social media site. It's now called X, but formerly Twitter. Well, the SEC is now looking into whether Musk can follow the proper protocol when filing the required paperwork necessary. The agency and Musk, they have 1 week to set a date and location for his testimony.
At 8:26 right now, getting you updated on all the happenings from last night during the Super Bowl, including, most importantly, we have a great local headline coming out of the game last night.
We certainly do, and it involves a Blackman High School football star and a former Tennessee Volunteer. He is Juwan Jennings, wide receiver for the 49ers. He had not just one, but two game-changing plays on the same night. So let's take you there.
I guess you could say he was going back to his roots when he played quarterback for a second.
Yes.
Watch here. All right, there's Brock Purdy to number 15, Juwan Jennings, who gets leveled, but he makes a great pass to Christian McCaffrey, who's going to run it in for a touchdown. Everybody went nuts over that play.
Beautiful play. It was first touchdown of the game. It's a 10-0 lead now for the 49ers. And later on, it is Jennings from Purdy over the middle, and watch him fight his way into the end zone for the touchdown. At that point, puts the 49ers back in the game yet again. Juwan Jennings becomes only the second player in the 58-year history of the Super Bowl to both throw a touchdown and catch a touchdown in the same Super Bowl game. It wasn't enough, though, for the 49ers. They lost in overtime, 25-22 to the Chiefs.
Today is the last day for tornado survivors to apply for FEMA. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll tell you why that's so important.
And baby surrender.
New tech to prevent drunk driving.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up at a Fox 17 Code Red weather alert, not for what is on your screen right now, which is still very hard to see. We've had visibility issues, light patches of some mist, and even some sprinkles this morning, but thunderstorms by the end of the day, and then snow before midnight that could stick. Some of you might get both of them. We'll time that out in your forecast.
I-24 near Harding Place. We're dealing with light rain in that area. We're going to tell you about some other things happening around town coming up in a few.
Ooh, take it slow out there. Do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Monday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. We got 30 minutes to go, and we're going to make sure you have everything you need to know before you head out the door.
Absolutely. We're in a code red weather alert because we're going to see just about everything today, Greg.
Yes, we are. And this is not a code red for necessarily very dangerous weather that you have to worry about or be hyper-focused to because it could, physically cause harm. This is just going to be one of those days where a mixed bag of everything on a Monday after a Super Bowl when all of these things changed while you were trying to sleep. That's reason enough to make sure you know what you're getting into before it gets here. Showers and storms today. Chance for severe weather, very, very minimal, and only for a few of us, but we'll see who has that shot. And then also increasing snow chances overnight. That's the big one here. We're not just flurries, straight up snow showers possible, and even some minor accumulations if the forecast holds how it is. Overnight, there's been some uncertainty to it, but enough uncertainty to where we're erring on the side of caution. Weather outlook when it comes to any severe weather. Bottom right-hand side of the map, our southeasternmost counties. Think some of our hometowns like McMinnville, Lewisburg, Tullahoma. Not a guarantee you get severe weather, but you could get a strong storm or two late morning into the afternoon. Then we flip the bill. We go to the north and west of Nashville. This is brand new overnight. Both of these updates are brand new overnight. Winter weather advisory from noon until midnight for portions of southern Kentucky. I want you to listen to this very carefully. If you're not in any of the counties that are colored, whether it's the green or the purple, it doesn't mean that you go a mile across the county line and you're not going to get anything. It's just higher impact events. We'll break it down on Future Track in a few minutes.
Clear, clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Harding Place. You make that drive down from the Antioch area. As you can see, the rain is falling out there, and it is causing a bit of a slowdown as you make your way in. Fortunately, no major accidents out there to go along with this rain, at least not yet. Let's try to keep it that way as we finish out our rush hour here. We are keeping, though, in good shape, but it's not raining everywhere, rather. This is north of town, 65 near Trinity Lane. You can see the traffic is congested. Things are cloudy, but dry, at least so far.
Justin, thank you. 8:33 is the time, and we want to make sure that you know today is the last day to apply for help from FEMA after the December tornadoes.
Want to make sure you get everything that's available to you in that recovery and rebuilding process. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now to show you how to do that.
Good morning. Well, this street, Nesbitt Lane in Madison, looks a lot different than it did just a month ago, but there's still a lot more work to be done. If you take a look at that blue home, you can see that construction workers are trying to piece it back together. Some of these places are insured, and that's why they got immediate help, but others haven't. I spoke to a neighbor who tells me that the home to the right of the blue home is uninsured and could use FEMA help. That's government money. The things you need to apply to get financial help is as follows: address and zip code, condition of damaged home, social security number, phone number, and more. You can head to disasterassistant.gov or simply download the FEMA app on your phone for more information. Reporting live in Madison, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you so much for that update. Also happening today, we want to take a live look over at this particular area that used to be a homeless camp. Our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live in Hermitage, where you can see the cleanup efforts, all those dumpsters, is because of the cleanup efforts that are underway.
Yeah, so we really wanted to follow up on this story. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, the city came in and said everybody living here had to be out by January 31st. They were able to get almost all of those people in some kind of temporary housing. And then Metro told us they would be out the next week to work on the cleanup process. Well, it looks like they have followed through on that promise. It's not all cleaned up, but certainly progress has been made. Still work to be done here, but just wanted to show you that they are working on this area. By the way, just for a little bit of perspective on this location in Hermitage, this is in the Dodson Chapel Road area, kind of in between there and Old Hickory Boulevard, not far from TriStar Summit Medical Center. So again, following through here for you up on this story that we know matters to you, because you've let us know that these homeless encampments have impacted your way of life in a lot of communities.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep checking back in to see the progress made over the coming weeks. In your community, though, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, getting a safe haven baby box. Have you heard of these? Well, baby boxes are anonymous surrender options for mothers in crisis. That is according to Safe Haven, who also says during the process, when a person chooses to surrender their infant in the baby box, the door locks once it's closed.
And if you're wondering what happens next, well, there is a silent alarm that alerts personnel inside of, for example, this fire department. So it alerts people inside the fire department that a baby has just been surrendered into the box, and they take the baby to the hospital to get checked out. And then from there, they begin an adoption process. In 2023, 17 babies were surrendered in this manner. There are 31 safe haven boxes in Kentucky, and again, the newest one right there in Hopkinsville.
Well, Safe Haven recommends that families who want to adopt a Safe Haven baby should go ahead and reach out to their local Department of Family Services to register for foster care with the intention to adopt.
8:37 is your time. Happy Monday to you. I do hope your day is off to a good start. We want to get you updated on more local headlines, including the story of a woman who was hit and killed in an apartment complex. What police say happened leading up to that, and the search for the person responsible this morning.
Hughes and Coleman, and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Our time. We're continuing on a code red alert for multiple things happening today. Round one begins to move in the late morning into the afternoon in the form of thunderstorms. And then we figured, okay, there'll be a few flurries in the backside. Well, now this system moved overnight a little bit. And it moved enough to where we could quickly cool down enough to not just have snowflakes, but snow showers with the possibility of a dusting to an inch of snow north of I-40 and into southern Kentucky and out on the Cumberland Plateau. Now, I want to stress that when I say an inch of snow, that's what comes down from the sky, but not all that sticks. So we measure it that way in terms of how much water we have or liquid we have to use to come down. So we're not going to have an inch on the ground, but a dusting can't be ruled out. Here's those late morning showers, and they get heavy at times when it comes to the rainfall rates. Oranges, yellows, some claps of thunder. The best chance for any stronger weather is going to be in our southeasternmost counties going into the afternoon. Then here comes the blue. Look at how far down to the south we could end up seeing some snowflakes. This is the latest update we have, and it's not changed much throughout the morning. We're talking about a band of snow that moves through. These are the big, heavy, wet snowflakes that you see flying around when you have temperatures right near freezing. And then when we're done with this, everything will turn around and be good to go. Starting tomorrow, back to some sunshine. And no other rain or snow for the rest of this week. But we do get that 1-2 scenario. That transition happens while we're still awake. This is through 10 p.m.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look at the very latest happening. Let's go to I-40 at Donaldson Pike. This is out near the airport. You can see the traffic there moving along just fine. No big problems out there. We are battling the rain in certain portions of the mid-state, including here, 24 near Haywood Lane. So heads up out that direction. No major crashes, at least not yet. We'll be continuing to check in throughout the morning. Well, let's take you to Operation Crime and Justice and go to Madison. Metro Police are searching for the driver that fatally hit a woman on Saturday. Happened right here in Madison, not too far from Old Hickory Boulevard and Robertson Road there at the apartments there, the Neely Meadow Apartments in Madison. A woman named Caroline Connor was hit while arguing with a male driver and a female passenger inside of a white Mercury Sable. Now, they say that car backed up in the parking lot and hit Connor. She later died. Now, that Sable is believed to have damage to the hood and the windshield of that car. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
Right now in your voice, your vote. Early voting begins Wednesday and runs through February 27th. This is for the March 5th presidential primary. All registered voters can find hours, polling locations, view sample ballots on govotn.gov, but also through our website, fox17.com.
A scary and unbelievable scam making its way here across the mid-state. We're going to tell you about the terrifying phone call that one woman received and how you can prepare to protect yourself.
And a reminder, we are in a code red weather alert for today because of the possibility of thunderstorms to snow and a live, foggy, dreary
view. Your window treatments should be as inspiring as your home and the remarkable routine of your daily life. 3-day blinds.
Good morning, welcome back. And time right now is 8:45. We're still in a code red weather alert. Not for any weather that we have in the impending 3-4 hours from right now. It's really going to go on toward the afternoon and then overnight tonight, and it's going to extend itself for two different reasons. One, showers and storms. We've had some light rain, pitter-patters here and there, some mist. The radar is not doing a great job at all picking up any of that. But what has been great are all of our sky cameras and all of Justin's TDOT cameras have been showing us they're having some pockets of rain throughout this morning. Right now, current temperatures are very nice, considering the fact that we'll be cold enough to have some snow before we get to midnight. That's the kind of day we have on tap. 50 degrees at 9, 54 degrees at 11. The better chances for some heavier rainfall and thunderstorm activity increase after we get past 11, 12 o'clock into the afternoon. There'll be a little light rain between now and then, but nothing we can't handle. 60 degrees later on today. The weekend, much cooler. Once we get through today, Tuesday through Friday are fantastic. But Saturday and Sunday, if you're making plans already, Saturday is the day that could bring in some rain showers. And Sunday will be very cold in the morning, but it is the better day during the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic. Want to take you out to Franklin this morning. This is a live look here at 65 near Boys Lane in the Cool Springs area. Headlights aplenty flowing out there this morning because of that light rain and mist that seems to be flowing around that area. Other than that, no big problems to show you this morning. Typical slowdowns around the rest of the traffic maps. Here is that rain that we've been talking about coming through the Antioch area along I-24 close to Harding Place. Seeing some slowdowns in and around Bell Road, yet and still that drive from Murfreesboro into downtown Nashville still under an hour, which is a downright miracle with rain on the ground here on a Monday morning.
Well, this morning, a frightening scam that's hitting close to home right here in the mid-state. Murfreesboro police say a scammer is calling residents claiming to have a loved one and then making threatening comments.
Yeah, the department says that it's happened 5 times within 3 days, so they are sounding the alarm, trying to warn people. Fox 17 News reporter Amanda Chen sitting down with one of the victims who is sharing her story.
Carol Sandstrom had been running errands in Murfreesboro when she received a call at the Walmart parking lot.
So I answered it, and there was a woman crying just almost hysterically and said, "I've been in an accident. I need you. Can you come?" So I said, "Who is this? Heather?" That's my sister's name. And she said, "Yes."
Sandstrom says a guy then started talking.
He said, "Heather, I have Heather in my truck. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time, a drug deal gone bad. We saw her on her phone and thought she was calling the police, so she's in my truck."
She says the voice sounded like her sister, so she made her way to the park to pick up her son so she could go get her sister.
But it felt real. I mean, it literally felt real.
But when the guy told her there was a small boy with him, and when he started demanding money that she refused to give, Sandstrom started getting suspicious.
And he goes, "Well, I guess I have my answer then," and hung up. And at that point, I started doubting. I thought, I've just killed my sister. You know, my heart dropped in my stomach. I got all knotted up.
Sandstrom immediately called her sister. With no answer, she then checked her sister's location. Nothing was showing up. Finally, her sister answered, saying everything was okay.
I mean, I broke down. I sobbed because it's still, even knowing she was okay, even talking to her, just those emotions of thinking that something was going to happen to her and my nephew. I can't even tell you how horrifying that felt.
For the first time, Sandstrom listened to the 911 call she placed to Murfreesboro police.
Someone just called me and said that they had my sister.
Her advice to the community:
so don't give any information. Make the person on the phone tell you who they are. And if they don't, hang up. Everything he said back to me that made it seem so real and so possible is information I gave him.
And she says, have your family set up a code word so you know when they're in trouble and when they're safe.
We were just talking about that, the importance of having a code word. Now, she shared some tips there. What about those other tips that you want to tell us?
Yeah, she said that she now has a recorder in her car so that she can tape a phone call, because she didn't have anything to kind of tape what was happening in that scam call that she had. She's also looking into getting cameras inside her car. And we were just talking, you know, my family has a code word. I know your family has a code word. That's so important for these types of things, especially with this new technology that we're seeing, the possibility of AI.
Sure.
You can make things sound so believable nowadays. ways.
Well, and I think too, you get caught up in the moment of the emotion of it.
Yes.
Where if you were to be able to stop and think the odds of that ever happening, first of all.
Right.
I mean, how many times do we ever actually have stories where somebody calls a random person and is holding someone hostage?
Right.
I mean, that's like stuff from the movie. So the odds of that ever actually happening are so slim, and to know that these kinds of crimes are through the roof right now should be that. I almost feel like that should be your first thought.
Yeah.
Is this has got to be a scam? Prove it otherwise.
Exactly. And the emotion, you're right, takes over because, you know, she thought, oh my gosh, it's my sister.
Right.
Just imagine that happening to any of our family members.
Exactly.
Well, Amanda Chin, thank you so much for sharing this insightful story. Make your code word and stay safe.
8:51 is the time right now. We have a breaking news update in the shooting death of 2 teenagers. That happened in the middle school parking lot of Meg's Magnet in Nashville. So that update in minutes.
And we are in a code red weather alert, not for what's out there right now, though it does not look pretty, and it's not just gloomy, but a little bit on the rainy side going.
Drive knowing your certified pre-owned Honda has a 182-point inspection and comes with 24/7 roadside assistance. Count on certified pre-owned Hondas. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Right now, we have a quick recap of our top stories this Monday morning. A second suspect in last week's deadly shooting outside of Meg's Magnet School behind bars now. Metro Police say 17-year-old Ashton Brown was arrested last night. 18-year-old Rico Doss was arrested Friday. Metro Police say Brown and Doss both shot and killed 16-year-old Takeo Bills and 17-year-old Jalen McAdams during a botched drug deal. Both are now charged with criminal homicide.
And we now know the funeral arrangements for the deputy shot and killed in Blount County, Tennessee last week. That'll be happening Wednesday. Blount County is 2 hours east. Deputy Greg McGowan and Deputy Shelby Eggers both tried to pull over Kenneth DeHart in Maryville. Police say DeHart did not cooperate and shot at both of the deputies, killing Deputy McGowan. The TBI issued that blue alert for DeHart, who is still wanted this morning. All kinds of charges like first-degree murder, attempted first-degree, and weapons. A $100,000 reward now being offered for information leading to an arrest.
Good morning. Right now, here we are in a code red weather alert as you wake up on a Monday morning. The chance for showers, thunderstorms that could get a little strong, and then snow tonight for some of us that may actually end up sticking a little bit. Looking at future track, we've had all kinds of updates when it comes to what we could potentially see, and I've got 2 or 3 different model runs of this, we call it, where you look at what the potential is for moving forward. They all look different now when it comes to who could see snow. And this has changed in about a half hour.